I was going to mention a little bit before you asked me, or whatever, about talking about, you know, and then you say what we're talking about.
Anyone there yet? A Ouija board, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is anyone there?
Yes.
Not once for yes, twice for no.
So can people hear you now on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go, we're live now. Just anyone there? Just no, well, sounds okay. Yeah, thumbs up there, brilliant. 5 on, thumbs up.
Let's cover this like, you know.
Hello, Norman. You all right, mate?
It's not Norman Honeyman, is it?
No. Norman Howard.
Oh, no, not sure.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some good stories about him.
Good lad, not sure.
He's a great lad, isn't he? Yeah.
Time and say, mate. Tom Farah, Tilt, Frankie, Evening Brown. Oh, that must be me, Brown, isn't it? Wait. Paul Pinya. He's always best, isn't he? For Emerson and Vincent, don't you?
Yeah.
Up for the my YouTube channel. Evening Phil.
When Nosha had his best garage, you know, Brian, down at the opposite Rosebery, you know.
Yeah.
Good lad, Nosha. Good laugh.
Good laugh, yeah.
One of the only garages you haven't taken a car off.
Me, guys, hope you are well, Nosha.
Yeah, he's a good lad, Nosha.
Yeah,
From Teddy Pierce the other week, he said he used to come past mine. He taxed every car at the lot, he said. What he mean? He said, I've got a coffee. He said, you're always all right, mate. He said, I bought a few things and I was sound. I said, I was always some good people coming. It was only names. He didn't come here and take a car off me. Oh, that's just perfect now.
Yeah.
You just open yourself up. So
I think Nosha was one of the probably one of the first lads out the car lads who started them getting in a big way, you know.
Yeah.
Who started off little and then got really big, you know. Had that number plate he's got for years, always driving about in a big roller or a Merc or.
Not a big headed lad.
It says you keep going off. What? Ask him what you mean.
What do you mean we keep going? The sound?
Or the screen?
Somebody give me a shout.
It's Nosha that said it, Norman Howard.
Norman, hey, houses keep going off.
Is it the voice or the screen or?
Is that sound?
Can you let us know if it's the screen that goes off?
Sound knows I said the sound.
Sound.
Yeah.
Well, sounds right up.
It's not anything loose, is it?
No, sounds right up.
Is it on the mic? The back.
Can you hear me now?
Let you know.
Yeah.
Correct it, you know.
Just waiting for a few more getting on, guys. We need you there. Yeah, we're all getting out of lockdown soon, so we've all made it. Next week, isn't it, Kevin?
Next week, yeah.
Gyms in that road.
Monday.
Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've had some carry on with everyone. Everyone's doing the same.
Yeah.
Everyone's arguing, shouting and bawling and fighting.
Pubs are opening up, but only outdoors, so
John Lee Clark.
good luck to them, OR.
Danny Marsh, hi mate. Shamus Blades, hello. It's working brilliant. Norman seems to be fine now. Sounds like feedback. You paid your bill. I need you for some jobs, Simon Lord, don't we?
Yeah, there's loads of jobs for you.
Loads of jobs for you. Got a list. You shouldn't have opened your mouth now. That's it. She's got you. Noel Patton. Up Ireland. Yes, up the Irish. Full Tilt Frankie. Must have been watching your Taxman McIntyre documentary a million times.
No, I would say it's fine now.
Hello, Norman. You all right, son?
The Irishman you mentioned, Bri.
Frank, he's called.
Frank.
Frank, is it?
Frank from Ireland. Do you know of a man called John Gilligan from over there? If you do, maybe in the next few weeks, a few stories about John Gilligan of when he was in prison and a few things. I don't know it. I know of him. I know of the
Lake
film that's made. Harry Lake.
Gary Lake.
Oh, Gary. Yeah, and John Gilligan, the Irish.
No Patton, a lad from Ireland.
No.
From Letterkenny.
Letterkenny, yeah. As you heard of a man called John Gilligan, Irish gangster, nice bloke, little bloke, but apparently really tough bloke. He was in jail with monkey lions, an old monkey.
Well said, Norman. Waiting for the police coming next. We're never away from our house. Yeah. Brian, you've been on the UK Street Crime UK YouTube. Oh yes, somebody else has said that today. I don't know what that is. What that means. That been on the UK Street Crime. Probably got up since I've stopped taxing them all.
Well, it's that one from them. You know, the ones that they make the UK scripts.
Bernie Beadle, do you know Bernie?
No.
But the hairdresser tatters.
Oh yeah, Bernie, yeah.
Really
yeah,
good lad. Yeah. He's had a few health problems lately.
Bernie, mate. Used to have a telly shop, didn't he? That's the one, didn't he?
No, that's Bernie Salmon.
Is that Bernie? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bernie's a great lad.
Bernie's the one who said the hairdressing shop at
Near Garlic.
Yeah. I know him then, yeah.
Yeah.
From the corner from the mall, wasn't it?
Yeah, really great lad. He's a Winniebanks lad originally, right. And people, you know, he's a quiet, pleasant, good lad. But years ago, when he was young, 73, 4, 5, he was actually quite a tough lad, you know, like in a nice way, he'd stand up against anyone. But lately, he's been giving me some stuff for the homeless, some really top class clothes, and they've been very appreciative. But one of the things he gave to them was a light Ralph Lauren shirt. Yeah. And Bernie, this is it, so I've kept it.
Yeah, Thomas O'Hara's, you're right, UK street crime doesn't tell the truth. It's a silly channel, I think, made up with some influence off other people.
Yeah. All summer. Yeah, Scrappy. Good dog, and he, you know what, we put a thing on yesterday, and Calvin got 11 views. Scrappy got 700. The dog's beaters now, so if he could talk, he'd be on here. Yeah, Coliseum crew in the house. Little Terry, thanks for doing the garden today. He does all the work, does all the bits and bobs for Terry. He's had a good laugh at me today. Bram, he's coming on the next few weeks.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Your son-in-law.
Yeah,
we're going to be doing it at the gym or something, so it's looking good. Maybe get all the kids on the bags and that. So
yeah, there's a good little story about Bram. Just as I was getting to know him, actually, I didn't really know him well at this time. Where the mulberry tree in Stockton, New Jersey, there was he had the door there. Us all went in, and a lot of them were all right, but some of them kicked off and started this, that, and the other. And Bram, annoyed at being called out of the house on New Year's Eve, went over, took his top off, and went in and literally threatened a lot of them. And you know, luckily there was no problems, and it all settled down. You know.
We asked him to share the stream onto Facebook.
Yeah, can you share the stream onto Facebook, guys, please?
The link of it, yeah.
Oh, the link. Not technical for me. I just look at this big thing and talk. But with me and Kevin O'Neill for a long time, have we, Kevin?
Yeah.
Had some great stuff.
A long time.
Nobody's going to answer me, you know. I might phone David Ashton with Bannister. Get on the phone to America, get all the David Ashton to see what case he has been recording. You know what I mean? I've no comment if David says so.
He'll probably need to go over to 2 episodes, Brian.
Took DJ Glenn, top man, Brian. Thank you very much, mate. L71 did exercise today, Brian, with my lads. Oh, brilliant, mate. Proud of you. Loads of lads have what he's on about there. So
fans are great.
I can't believe how many people come on, like really enjoying it and getting stuck in. So there's loads of stuff on there, isn't there? Mental health. Now we're doing the weight training, so we're going to be going to the gyms next and showing you how to 3, 2, 1. Yes, welcome to the band show. It's Brian Cockler here, Kevin Kilty, or it could be Kevin Kilty show this week, so I might be getting taxed. So, Kevin, welcome.
Cheers, Brian.
Welcome to his show.
It's a mad show tonight, yeah.
Oh, on the ropes already.
Just before I'm going to ask Bryce some first questions. There's been a lot of people asking to come on Bryce's show. A lot of people, you know. There's one person in particular I told you was multi-millionaire. I'll save his name, might mention it. There's a lot of lads out there who would be great to come on, even some of the lads who are viewing now, you know, Nosher Howard, lots of big stories.
Get you on, Nosher.
There's really good stories, you know. But in particular, I've had a lot of interest from people in Manchester, some in London, Liverpool, even Ireland, asking me would my sister come on and do a story, which would take a few episodes at least. Obviously, a real name born was Maureen Kilty, you know, my sister, younger sister, and we were so close. All our lives fell out over something really sorry, which I regretted. And her husband, or if she's listening, husbands, because she's had quite a few more, was her first husband was Keith McQuaid.
Yeah. Dangerous person.
She got married in June. He was a very dangerous person, but a pleasant person.
Yeah.
Not sure knew Keith very well, and he'll have a few stories about him, because they're not all bad stories about him, even though he's whatever. and his family's mum, Joan, was a great woman. Then she got married to John Partland, who died in prison. Some really big stories about him. And then she got married to Paul Lyons, Monkey Lyons.
Well, so
she's been Maureen Kilty, Maureen McQuaid, Maureen Partland, Maureen Lyons, and I think shortly, what they call the big movie star. She might be Maureen De Niro shortly, because she likes Robert De Niro. But yeah, they want there to come on. But to be truthful with you, Brian, I've spoke to a solicitor, and for some of the stories she's wanting to tell, they're very, very serious. Not accusations, facts. And it might put some people in the shit. So we're working out what to do on that. So have you seen before I ask you questions, Brian?
I've seen nothing until I've seen David Ashton. Don't know what you're up to. We don't know what you're up to, so get on with it.
Well, there'll be more questions than answers, as Johnny Nash sang. Is everything here and okay?
Yeah, just making on that little thing, is that? Just to get something off. Somebody's advertising on our programme, I think. Just that there.
Just if everyone can hear it, so I can
start. Make sure we just want to start. I don't have a computer as well. Kevin does, so
I know nothing about nothing
whatsoever. If it goes wrong, it's their fault. It's not us. It's all down right now. So we can go.
Here we go then.
I'm going to record this. It is getting recorded.
The best thing I was going to start with, Brian, to give people a bit of a story, was now, how you are now, and then to go back.
Yeah, Maureen, come on.
Maureen, I'm
our husbands and John Collins.
Hi, Maureen. Thanks for listening.
So what I'm
going
to do is ask you about how your life is, how you are at the moment with them, and then we'll go back over. Because there was quite a lot of years where I've never ever fell out. You never would fall out with you, but where we didn't see each other.
I was in the wilderness then,
and I was obviously worried for you, and everyone was, and we didn't know whether you were going to kill people or whether you had killed people, or whether you were going to end up ill yourself. And gladly, everything's as good as it can be and going to get better. So basically, just if you can tell the people how things are to deal with you and Emma.
Well, fantastic, me and Emma. Been out with them 30 years ago. Got back with her. Love at first sight again. Got my name on. She's got hers on her arm. Got married after about 3 months?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Got married. Stuck with her now, so won't let me go. No, it's great. We have a great time. We both got the same likes, watching the telly, the dogs and things. And just like before, when I was on the drugs, it was just not even like, it was just an existence. Getting up every day, trying to tax people for money for drugs. Selling your cars, buying cars for 20 grand, selling for 15, and still not on drugs, and just absolutely insanity it was. But I think I had yesterday, there was loads and loads of people have come forward to, I'm glad you've done it. And you tell us, I don't tell lies, I tell the truth. And the thing is, I was on drugs. I was on them for a long time, couldn't get off them, thought there was no way out. Lost my weight, went right down, back up again now, training really good, eating properly, training every day, 6 days a week. And never touched a drug, never been in a drug for over 2 years now. So my wife would kill me anyway. So, but I've got my life back on track, and anyone can go off, no matter how tough you are. My brother, his sister was horrendous, when he committed suicide. But I just locked myself away, type of thing. Didn't want to know anyone in the world. People like Bram would come around, shout at them, right open the door, and I just wouldn't let them in. A lot of people come around. But I just was in that horrible, horrible world where you think the drugs, self-medicate, the drugs, not realising they make you mentally ill and going to bed saying, I hope I don't wake up tomorrow. I hope I don't get up tomorrow and things like that. Just some people are embarrassed to say because they're tough and big and hard, but anyone can get it. Depression is one of them things, no matter how hard you are, how tough you are, you could get a 5-year-old, get a 95-year-old, and it just comes. It's just one day you can sit outside and it's a beautiful, lovely day, next minute, boom, thunder and lightning, a storm comes, and that's my analogy of mental health. And you just sit there, and the more drugs you take, the more paranoid you get. I'm just absolutely ludicrous on that, but my life's great now compared to that.
As I say, Brian will be doing most of the talking today. And as you say, he's been very open there. I know Tyson Fury has been very open and
fantastic lad. He's going to win this fight because he's got Jesus in his hands.
Yeah, he's a great bloke, isn't he? At best, I'll be honest with you, I didn't like him.
I didn't myself. When he came out with that in the caravan, that video, and
you know,
what a wonderful thing to say for a man of that stature. Frank Bruno's another one.
So genuine.
Yes, he is.
You know, and I really do hope he wins it. But my favourite boxer at the moment, to be honest with you, because even though I don't train, I've always been at health and fitness and given credibility to people who train really hard. Favourite heavyweight boxer at the moment, you know, maybe he's a bit too light, I don't know.
Yeah.
But going back to what we're saying about Tyson Fury, he said quite a lot. But you've said a lot there, and probably over the space of the next hour or so.
Yeah.
They'll say a lot more. Is there anything you don't want me to ask you?
No.
Nothing.
Ask me anything.
Yeah, so I'm going to pick up on a few things. But as I say, Brian, in this programme, I'll ask you things.
Yeah.
The next programme, I might be going back over and forward. But the first thing I want to ask you about is, and I don't know all the answers to these, is what's your best memories as a kid? As, you know, being born, growing up, 1 or 2-year-old, 3-year-old?
Well, we came down from, I was born in Scotland, Coatbridge. All the Scottish people go mad. I didn't know I was born in Coatbridge, as I say up there, like tatty scones and stovies and all that stuff. So I'm going up there to do a big tour soon anyway after this lockdown. Yeah, so I was born there. We came down to Middlesbrough, stayed at Middlesbrough, moved in a few different places. Went on a little cottage on the A9 and stayed there. Moved from there to Hartlepool. We started going. From we went to I used to go to school there. Went from there to another house, Westview Road. Stayed there for a few years. Went to school. Got bullied at school. Started watching Arnold Schwarzenegger. And believe it or not, my tough guy was Dennis Warman. Out of mind. I could not people out like him. I couldn't be tough. Instead of getting bullied all the time because I had dyslexia, I couldn't read my properly. I went to a special school. People call you names, laughing at you and things like that. But yeah, you just thought it was in them days, dyslexia. You eat thick, you can't read, but it's not like your brain works different, doesn't it? So left there when I was about 17, 18, went to Redcar, started training, trained in the gym with my uncle Tam McGivern, Frank McGivern, John. Stayed there.
How old were you been? When you were at Hartlepool, how old were you then, Brian?
I left Scotland when I was 3. So obviously I didn't know much about that, but I left Hartlepool, Redcar. Got a little flat a week for us, and I got a little job working the door when I was 20-year-old. I would train my little friend Yathan, you know, my mate, and never took a drug. Was training twice a day, training with George Fawcett. Used to go freedoms across the road. Big Oasis pub from the people from Redcar, from Rosebery Road. I lived in the flats on Court. Ollie Baines lived on the corner, and I got a little bike, racing bike going to work. I was just obsessed, wanting to be like Arnold, wanting to train. I did everything, every penny I got. I was working the race course, 2 jobs. I used to park the cars.
How old were you being then? Because I'm going to take you back to your childhood.
18, 19, I was on there. And I got a job in the gym, training instructor, 25 quid a week, and I said it was a £5 to join. So I said, right, I got that. And then I got a job in a video shop, doing videos, £1 an hour. Then I worked on the door, and then I helped my Uncle Tam with his cars. I never stopped working.
Is this before, or all this is before you got into the door?
Yeah, it's before all this.
Going back to your childhood, when you were like, you know, say 5, junior school, what's your brief memories of then? Did you ever get any bullying? Were you a big lad then?
When I was 5, I was a little quiet lad. I was weak, little. I had a limp on my left leg because my mum fell on the stairs. I had dislocated lip when I was born. And dyslexia, like I said, I had asthma, so I was always off. But coming down from Scotland, I still had that Scottish accent.
Yeah.
A lot of people bullied you. That's why they used to call me Scotch Brian. I always had that accent with my uncles for years. And I got bullied quite a lot. That was off the teachers as well. But them days were horrible compared to nowadays. But you just got to get on with it. But
And what about when you're moving from junior to senior school? Then what were you?
Well, when I went to senior, it was like a special school, so it was a bit better really because you weren't like the dummy
special for people who were misbehaved, or
no special because of that. I thought learning disability, couldn't read and write properly, and dyslexia, and so they didn't know what it was, so they put you in a special school, you know, like to do lally place type thing. But
which one was it, Brian?
It was Southbrook and Hartlepool. It was it was a special school. It was only brought out for kids in the 1970s.
Any good or bad memories from that?
Oh, good. I played in the football team. We won the cup. just lads who couldn't read and write. Mainly I was in there. It wasn't handicapped people. I was just for dyslexia, but we had a good time. Neville Smith, Lee Pugh, all good lads there. Woodfield on with the team. We had great times because the teachers could understand you. You'd only have maybe 12 kids in a class when the other school would be 36.
Yeah, a lot of them.
But just caught them up in the end, and I cruised through the roof. I mean, Albert Einstein was dyslexic. Rod Stewart was dyslexic. I think Leonardo da Vinci was dyslexic.
Lots were, weren't they?
Nib of the cigar, Winston Churchill, he was dyslexic. So it's not that you're not clever.
No,
it's just you can't just read something that's backwards or jumps around the page on you. So,
what were your interests then, as you said about football and then
watching telly? I love telly.
What programs? Anything in particular?
Mainly gangster films. Mainly about but I used to stay at Bananas when you got like the holidays that I stay there, and we'd watch things like The Angels with Dirty Faces, James Cagney.
I think Terry Dicko loves that.
Brilliant film. All them on your Daddy, all that stuff, and loads of films like that. And we think, if I was a gangster, nobody would be able to bully me. And I had this thing in the end to be a gangster. I grew up. Everyone wanted to be like a policeman or a school teacher or an astronaut. I wanted to be a gangster when I was a kid. So I'd watch Minder, and I think it was great. And to go and that fight, and then it was good. We used to play out a lot as Kevin when we were kids. We'd just be out all day playing, kick the ball against the gate, go on the field, play football. We'd go on we weren't supposed to do it. We used to go on the old Westview Road, Hartlepool. There used to be a bowling green on there. We'd go on there, play British Bulldog, and run across it all that. We were super fit. Nobody was overweight. I think there was one kid in the school out of 200-300 kids overweight. There was
very few people that were overweight then.
And we would get like Kess. We didn't have much money, so you'd go in the bin, a barrel bin for shoes, and you might have a size 7 training shoe and a size 11, because that's all you could get to fit. You'd be running around last. You were nowhere near because your trainings were terrible. But young man, you couldn't ask your mum. Then you were a family of 7. People were running alone. And them days, Kevin, used to be. Not sure anyone remembers from Terry and yourself. There used to be I think it was 2 or 3 day a week you'd work because of
that was early 70s.
We only had BBC 1, BBC 2, and Time Tees was on, and then the telly would just go off. You were sat there having to get candles and sitting in the dark for 3 days. It was just.
I can remember that.
Remember 1976, the hottest summer we ever had.
Yeah, great summer.
And the water, they used to come around with water for you because there was a water ban, and the ban would come. You'd go and get the water with the tubs and that. That would be it, getting your water every day off the council.
It was a great summer that, And then into senior school, you're similar as well?
Yeah. Well, that's when I went to special school when I was like 12. They went there.
Yeah.
But I started to learn more there because then you had to write better and spell and, more coaching off the teachers. So, it was good. We were in a band, believe it or not. I was learning to play the guitar. Yeah. And there was me, Lee Pugh, Neville Smith, and all them. We used to go around the hospitals for the old people. And the old people's home, I think it was 10 kids and 2 teachers, and we play a band type of thing, just as a Mull Kintyre, all that stuff, and just Christmas carols and things like that. Just it was good fun helping people. And you see the old people would die, not long ago, and that it sounds like angels, like that.
People them days would elbow people.
Of course, yeah.
I can remember when we used to walk through the streets of Winniebanks, and the border lads will have done the same. Yeah, we might have been in a group of lads. And if your neighbour or someone you knew was coming by, whereas now you get kids, not all kids stand in the way, obstruct them. We'd move out the way and say, "Hi, Mrs. Dixon. Hi, Mrs. Baker. Hi, Mrs. James. Hi, Mrs. Rafter." Whatever. We'd be very, very pleasant to people. And you would say, yeah. And when did you interest in becoming strong happening by wanting to be like a strong man?
Well, even when my uncle come from my house to training, he got me a set of weights because he owed me mum a few quid. Told the story a few times, and I didn't know how to train, so I went. The first gym I ever went to was Park Road, and after watching Charles Schwarzenegger pumping iron,
there's Park Road, Hartlepool.
It's still there. Park Road, Hartlepool. I was about 14, I think, something like that. Yeah. And I went to the gym, I started training a set of weights. My uncle gave me a first set of training on them. I didn't have a clue. He come and stayed a few weeks and showed me how to get in a routine. So I started lifting the weights. I could bench like 170 pounds, and I was only like 11 stone, like 15-year-old. I was super, was super strong.
That's it.
And my uncle was like, he's stronger than us, and they were like 25-year-old blokes. Yeah. And I was always strong. I think my mum's the same. She had that genetic strength. Really, really strong. So I got training. I used to think the the more you do, I train 4 times a day, I'll get bigger, but you don't. You obviously, I've been doing this as a kid. I've been telling them, don't do what I did when I was a kid and do too much. Just train with my chest, back, and biceps, leg, shoulder, and triceps. Wednesdays are off, chest, back, and biceps. Thursday, leg, shoulder, triceps. On a Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. And the most important thing when you get big when you're young is eating. Eat. Thousands of calories because you just burn them up when you're young. Yeah, just getting there. And then I would go to Jimmy Field and I went to another gym. It was, remember Peter? I think he used to have the gym. He used to have the.
Peter Ayton, was it?
No, Peter Fox. He used to have a pub in near Church Street, and he used to have a big cellar downstairs. It was like an American gym, but like the Rocky one when there was in water dripping and all that. We went in there. I went to myself. Dead scared, 15-year-old. I was like, you had all these steps. Something like £2, that's £1 again at 50 pence or something. I was like, oh, I'm going down the steps and he hadn't a clue what I was doing, you know, and these blokes come and get sort of helped me train that. But yeah, it was an experience and I got hooked on it, loved it. And then when I got to Redcar and Winkle Town, like I said, I stayed in his flat for a few weeks and then I got a place off someone. I don't know, I was got that wood chip paper, painted it with mushroom or something like that. Second-hand car roller. Mick Kirk used to own a second-hand shop. I got a second-hand settee off him. It was like an orangey colour, and I had a chair, and it wasn't real leather, but it was all right for me. And we had to carry up 2 flights of steps, so it didn't bother me, things like that. And we lived there. I lived there, and it was good.
Because having a flat them days when even I was young, I had the odd flat, but it was a big thing, wasn't it, to be able to live on your own and have a flat and that.
Go to watch what you want on the telly. I put the Arnold on every day. I got another one. I got a 1982, I think it was. It was a comeback. And it
was great.
I called Tony Bucko from, he used to be me and his brother, little Dave Buxton. We used to box. And we used to go to Lingdale. He's a good kid, a really good kid. I got that Pumping Iron. I used to wear one, and he had another 3 or 4.
The 2 big ones were in the Pumping Iron and the Comeback.
Comeback
was great.
Well, I actually met Tom Patch 3 times. As you know, Bill Boyd was there when he was in Bill's gym. We met him and met him a few times. Mike husband in a few shows at the Crypt in Middlesbrough.
I always thought Tom Platz would have got into big style, into movies.
I thought
probably more so than Arnold.
Yeah, because he could speak better.
He could speak better. And, you know, he had this splendour and he could have come across as a Western hero or, you know, gangster or whatever.
Probably on the horse with his legs though.
Yeah, of course he couldn't, He resembled a little bit like Robert Redford looked, didn't he? You know, that type of thing.
If he'd dropped like 100 pounds, he'd probably been perfect.
Yeah.
We've got like a Stallone type physique because he was probably too big, maybe.
Yeah. What was your first memories of ever getting hurt as a punch, or your first memories of you having a fight?
I remember the first time I got hit bad. Once used to be 6 lads used to bully me all the time. So I went the beach way.
Were them 6 all friends?
All friends, yeah. And I went down the beach way and they got down the beach and they battered me and kicked me in my back. I was in really bad way. My ribs were all bruised and everything. I just said I fell off to my mum and didn't say that. You couldn't tell your mum in them days because they tell you to get out and fight. There's no such thing. The worst one, somebody came between the legs and ruptured me really bad. I had to get taken to hospital and get it sorted out, you know, operation. It was really bad when I was about 12.
Yeah.
So that was the best fights. But the first fight I won was a lad called Marky Man. So if you listen to this man, become best friends, and I kept getting right running away and hiding. We used to nick off. And we used to go to the rugby club in Hartlepool, West Hartlepool it was called. Me and my mates on the doors. We used to nick off and we used to go in the shop and he'd go to the shop with a big list. And I'd go around the back of the wall and he'd be going, you've got these biscuits and we man be getting it. It was a bit like old-fashioned chops. I'd be in the fridge getting all the bits of milk for our dinner. Back over the fence and he'd go, oh, I've left the money in the house. He'd go, I'll leave the note, come back. And he'd know I'd go past the shop. There's a cut. Then we go to another shop and we jump over the wall and we get the lemonade bottles. We drink Lowcocks then. But an hour later we go and say, do you take Lowcocks, mate? We could these old bottles back. But loads of kids used to do it. But that was funny days. But we were always messing about, having the lap pranks and things like that. But we weren't really, obviously there was no drugs. But Dorsey smoked a cigarette. I had one puff off once. It was you. And collapsed. I said, I'd never done that again. I remember getting a skateboard. It was 1976, 77 for a skateboard and went down the town. We used to go to the ramps. Used to be down Hartlepool. And we go on the ramps, down the ramps and just playing about and things. That was just great times, you know. You don't hear kids talk like that.
Outdoors. They don't like going outdoors. I mean, the phones and the phones especially, and the computers are.
I remember getting. I remember when the Fonz was out. The Fonz was out.
Fonz, yeah.
And I got a coat. It was like it wasn't leather. It wasn't a real leather. Look like leather. And all the others had the proper leather jackets. So I went, hey, you can get them in leather now. But the man couldn't afford them. All that we had Dr. Martens there, John Plus. We couldn't afford them, But yeah, we got them like. But you just got them. But I could have a fight then. I got the 13. I was probably one of the first martial arts things where I threw them off from my leg. Yeah. And I used that move quite a lot. Bram said that's what you call a takedown in the mixed martial arts. But I was only 13 then.
What was that, self-taught?
Yeah, I just see it off the telly, Kung Fu used to be on. David Carradine used to watch that and I'd seen him do a few moves and just used it and it worked. But
what did they call that film again?
It was Kung Fu, wasn't it?
The water lamb one, the water margin, was it? Or?
No, not the water margin. It was Kung Fu was called. He used to go across the desert from town to town in America. David Carradine played the part. And he was a Kung Fu. He wasn't a Kung Fu expert in real life, but
how tall would you have been then?
I was about 6 foot when I was. I was tall.
What weight? What type of weight?
About 12 stone. Yeah, 11 stone.
Yeah, and then when leaving school, when did you go after that?
Well, I went, like I say, I was about a year after school.
You mentioned you had a few little jobs doing this, that and the other.
Yeah, we'd done the jobs and that. We'd go to the race course, do them. But then I went down to Leo's because I got my first course again.
Leo's a nightclub,
yeah. And I started training out and I went down for a job. I went, is there any jobs? You can start the night if you want. So I didn't have a black jacket, so I had to go and borrow it off a lad called Craig. And Kit the Bush for his dad was Norman. And he was
he was a tough bloke when he...
really tough bloke. Norman was a brilliant bloke.
Yeah, they reckon he was a very tough bloke, a nice bloke.
Lovely man.
Yeah. Do you talking like walking type of boxer? Because he wasn't so much a fighter, he was like a nice person.
Yeah.
But he gets stuck in, he could fight, but he was a really good, nice man. And I said, can I get a coat, mister? And he went, no, I'm only a kid, 20-year-old. He went, are you Craig? And Craig was like this, and I was only about 13 or 14 stone. So I got a job on the door, and I was like with Jeff Robinson, a friend of mine, and Kenny Bajon, with a friend who's coming tomorrow to fix my car. All them, we all joined the gym. There was a guy called Peter Ayton and Teddy Cooper. So we joined the gym.
Was Peter the lad who had hearing problems or not?
No, that was a different kid. That he worked. That was another Peter.
Yeah.
He worked for Leo's.
Respected Norman as well.
So anyway, we goes to the gym. I got the job on his off, so I started making a 10 night. I worked with a lad called John.
How old were you then, Brad? What year?
20-year-old. It was the year when the mods come. There was 3,000 mods come. Yeah. And there were cows and chaos and red kids, they were all over the place. I was 20-year-old, about 84, 85, I think I was 85. I worked on the door with Jeff and him, Big Bob, and that. He's gone now, God rest his soul. But they helped me out, Mick Kirk and all them were there, and all them looked after me, and good people. But you'd have a fight in them days. It would be over, you'd shake hands. It's not like now where there's stabbing you and people carry knives about them. Yeah, you very rarely heard of people carrying knives. Everyone would train, especially with the Rocky films, the Arnolds, all them type from Keep Fit, Mr. Motivator. Everyone was in Motivator. Not something crazy. The Green Goddess, that one machine. All of them were in training. It was everywhere. They were aerobics for when we were training. Everyone was training. It was just a mad craze in the 80s. Probably the golden age of training. So we were all into it. None of us took drugs. I didn't even drink, didn't smoke. All they wanted to do was get massive. And
there was the fest of the, especially on the body. I mean, there was the strong men and the bodybuilding scene.
Yeah.
I mean, later years, slightly later, you had them days you had like Craig Howard was one of the first bodybuilders.
Well, he used to train at our gym, Craig. But before I got to Olympia, I used to train at the Chapel Gym. Little Ant Berg had it.
Yeah, the Chapel Gym, I remember
John,
that.
John, I can't remember his name now. He had it. And I got a job there. I used to work. It was only a tiny little place. But we trained, me, Peter Ayton and Teddy Cook. And Teddy was like about 16 stone, muscular. And Peter in a few shows, one and Peter was just awesome.
Yeah.
He was like Franco Colombo. So
I can remember.
I was there about 6, 7, 8 weeks. I went, do you want to join in with us? Because it's easy to train 3.
Yeah, of course,
Both because we're training really heavy and hard and doing chin for weights on. I thought, but you're strong as us. I was only little skinny kid. So I started about 12 stone. And in six years, from 18, by the time I got 24, just under 24 stone I got. That was hard graft, when people are because of this and because of that. No, I trained every day, twice a day.
Religiously.
We made Peter Ayton. that religious training. We went Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, yeah. We used to a few times.
It was that thick, the snow, we couldn't drive, so we had to walk 2 mile, 3 mile there. We got there and I had the key and Ant had turned the electric off, so the train in the dark, it was pitch black. So we opened the door, it was freezing. So we just did shoulders because you could see a little bit of shadow, and that was how dedicated we were.
And that was big days for the start of bodybuilding. You know, I mean, the old co-op club. I don't know whether you can remember it at that club.
I remember John talking about John Black, and I remember
Cyril, my mate, and Dennis Flanagan. There's quite a few lads there. That was the first gym I ever trained at in '76. But I didn't know a lot about training then.
So after that, I went and started training at the Olympia because it was like the big gym.
Probably one of the best gyms in the world.
Without a doubt, it was the first of the American gyms because Don had been there.
Big investment.
He brought Bertel Fox over. I'm sure it was in 1983. He was a lovely man. He liked me. Trained with him a few times in the gym, told me a few things. But there was another big lad there called Marlon Darton, who was Mr. Universe.
I can remember,
brilliant, 6'6". Huge, brilliant physique, and he went for the part of Mr. T back to America, but he never got it because Mr. T got it. It was the same part he went for, Global Langer, I think it was called. And he got the he never got it, but he was a nice man. He stayed, and then was the other one. You know, Phil something. He did turn his back. He became Mr. Olympia.
Was he a good friend of Mark Lanny's? Is that the one?
No, that's a different one. That's
another one.
That was a different lad. He was Mr. Universe, that lad.
Yeah.
This lad ended up becoming Mr. Olympia, but it was when he was older, over 40s. Eddie Elwood, know I'm on about. But Phil Taylor, is it? Phil Taylor.
Phil Taylor, Phil Taylor,
yeah. He was really good.
Excellent,
And he was walking. And I told you this the other way. Don LaRoche owned the gym. And Bucko, this girl, she was only little. She was like, but he was at the university, which he competed. I think they were in like knowing to do it together. Yeah. And she was squatting 300 pounds, all the way down, which was squatting like 300 pounds. Yeah. 140 kgs.
Yeah.
Never heard of it in them days. Maybe she got off and he went, next day, people were saying, he said, yeah, done that way. That Phil Taylor's girlfriend and that. And Don went, I could do that easy, it's easy, he said. But Bucko said, I bet you you can't go then. So he bet him, he got on the weights and all that. Put on, he went, boom, hit the deck, and he broke his back. And down like a ton of shit. Don Williams. He was about 60-odd-year-old. And he got on, he thought he could do it. That was easy. Obviously, you've got to build up slowly. And he found it, he killed himself. We had some fun in there. Mark Lally was a great lad.
Mark was a good lad. He was very, very clever one. He used to train very slow, didn't he, and concentrate.
The only thing I used to train with him, I helped him with him in Mr. North Brittany one. I trained with him for about 6 weeks. We helped us through the last 6 weeks. Trained with him, really good lad. He used to have the Lanny's ice cream, didn't he?
What year will that be, Bri? 85,
85, 86.
I think he might have won the Mr. UK then, as Bradford as well.
Yeah. That's what it was, Bradford. Yeah,
I went to that show. Yeah, he looked really good, didn't he?
Yeah, we all went, and all the lads, Tim and all them, Harry in the gym. I think Bucko went. There's quite a lot of us went in the gym to support him, but he was brilliant. He was methodical. He would weigh everything. Write everything down in the gym. And he would do all that type of stuff. But he was like, he used to say the best when he actually do leg training. I was strong in all of them. Yeah. Even though I was only younger than them, I just had the genetics. Yeah. I remember the record was 5 plates, and I ended up doing it at 21-year-old, 500 pound squat. And they were like, this kid's unbelievable, this strength, and obviously no steroids and nothing.
Just training. Yeah. So when you're starting to become noticed, when at Ardfest early and people were talking around Stockton, Winniebanks, Middlesbrough, everywhere. And I remember people mentioning Scotch Bride. Yeah. You know, Scotch Bride. Who was the person who probably actually, for namesake, founded you, who you were introduced to, and that person started learning you more about door work? And
well, quite a few. George Fawcett was
George.
George was a good lad. He'd been in Mr. Britain. He lived across the road.
Novice Britain.
But we just walk. You can't stick with the same routine. You see these people going to the gym. They'll do 6 months training. They look brilliant. You go back to the same routine, and your body gets used to it. So you've got to mix it up, change the angles, full motion, heavy weight, light weight, not so many reps, 6 reps, pyramids, all these different things you've got to do. You won't consistently, you won't grow.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know how to turn to them.
No, that's why I'm writing a book.
Very few do.
I think I'll do really well. A lot of people. It'll be good to how you got to that size. Yeah, but
and what age you been then, Brian, when
when I was then, I think I went to about 15 stone something, 15, 4, something like 5, something like that.
Because then gradually you became, you know, you're working on different doors and that. And
when I met you, I was 24, I think I was.
Yeah, I think you were not 24.
I was 24-year-old, and I was just under 24 stone. Yeah. And people keep saying, "I was 24 stone." Well, that's what they're asking me, so I'm going to tell them the same answer. And I could never get to the 24, but the best shape I had when I was about 20 stone, 10 pound.
Yeah.
I dropped 3 stone, roughly. And I had my veins were sticking out.
I can remember that.
I remember seeing the gypsy lads, and they had me take me top off. I went, fucking.
I can remember you
looking
really good at about 20 stone.
My legs were ridiculous. Were 36 half-inch size.
You just do a shout out. Thank you to your boy Beastie. He's just tipped you $2 onto you.
Oh, thank you very much, Beastie.
From Australia.
Oh, from Australia. Cheers. Good day there, mate.
Cheers.
Down under.
Cheers.
Yeah, keep in touch with us, mate. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, so going back then, you were putting the skates on, but you weren't putting it on as some people do, just want to take the gear and pump up and look pathetic.
It was natural what I was putting on. I tell you what I was doing.
You were eating a lot of calories, weren't you?
Yeah.
And
well, there was a man and woman.
Hard and smart.
A man and woman used to come to the gym when I worked at the chapel, and he used to buy 30. He used to get, I think it was 36 eggs or 30 eggs. I used to buy a pack of 5, so I'd have 210 eggs. And I'd have like 30 eggs a day. You know what I mean? I'd buy every 5 days. I went to buy another pack, and I'd have 10 in the morning.
30 eggs a day.
10 in the morning. 10 in the afternoon, because there was no protein drinks, couldn't afford them.
No.
So I was having them, and each egg's got about 7 or 8 grams of protein. So you have 90 grams of protein to have.
It's the only food with every amino acid in it.
I think how many eggs is that? 10 or is that 11? I can't remember. You know, just crazy.
And did you have the full eggs?
I'd put them in the. Sometimes I used to drink them, which is not good for you now because you can get salmonella off them. A chance of that. But I used to have scrambled eggs.
Because the whole eggs are better. A lot of people went on about egg whites, which fair enough, but that cholesterol in it is a good form of energy.
Yeah, also if you're young and you're training, you've got no heart problems, things. Protein powder or eggs, protein powder or food, protein powder or chicken. It's always food. Food comes first, because you know for a fact what's in that. A lot of these products, you buy them, they're filled with maltodextrose, which is sugar. Yeah. And you've got like maybe 5 kilo pack of stuff, and there might be 3 kilos of mixture in it, and just 2. That's why you need that. We couldn't afford. There wasn't that much products, you know, yourself in them days. Yeah. And they were expensive. Well, they were really expensive. Very. So we just got we got our food out. We got our vitamins and minerals and everything out of food, but when you're eating about 10,000, I remember I used to be able to eat 3 kebabs. And the man said, "I'll bet you my Uncle Sam was there, and Uncle John." And Mum used to slice tomatoes, you know. Yeah. What was he called?
Steve Cochran.
Steve Cochran. Was the clothes shop in Lidlock Road. In Syke. He was next door to that, and I used to go and buy a few things off him. Nice lad. And I'd go in and I could eat 3 kebabs. And nobody could eat 3 kebabs. So we used to have a bet. I'd be getting 3 kebabs. It was a burger now, mate. And I could eat like a pig, you know, even though I was only young, 20 or 21-year-old, I could eat like honest, could eat, unbelievable.
But you were training that hard that you used to need them calories, you know.
Well, you need them when you're young because you I was hyperactive, you know. But I had to train really hard. And the main thing, bodybuilding, any sport, is getting the food right. So you've seen loads of cakes and biscuits and crap and things like that. You've got to eat. I used to train with Craig Howard, who was in the Mr. Universal. I got to the next stage with Craig because he was probably the best bodybuilder in the area at the time. No disrespect Eddie and them, but they come up.
Eddie was slightly as Craig was finishing.
Yeah, he was coming. Craig was like beating heads on us. So I trained with Craig and he knew all the stuff. I would say this ski and I would say that. He was really clever. Knocked around with Craig for a bit. He's another one gone now, so so many people.
Going back to Eddie, I can remember Eddie when he first started training, and I met him at Peter Carnigan's gym at Bishop Auckland, with his dad and Denny Oil and that. And Eddie was genetically blessed, you know, but he's just the determined. It's very similar where you were with the strength thing. Yeah, he was persistent with the bodybuilding. With his whole family, his mum, Carl, Sherry, his mum was in magnificent condition. Still looks great now, you know.
You've got to be in any sport, like Richard will tell you, you know yourself, any sport where you get into, you've got to be 100% for that sport. You can't go, I'll have a few drinks, I'll have this. It just goes down the pan, because you always go, especially when you're down at the Matt Lanny said, if you have a Mars bar, a cake or a biscuit or something, and you lose the show by that one little bit, that could have been that miles by you.
Yeah,
That's how close it is in that game.
I know.
Bodybuilding is one of the hardest sports in the world. I'm not saying it's the hardest sport's boxing to train for, but bodybuilding, you train every day. You miss 2 weeks, you can lose a ton of weight.
Yeah.
And you're out of shape, you could miss. People don't understand what we're about. Carb up, wrong carb.
Yeah,
Elwood knows what we're about. People like that, and mate Denny, they know how to diet and things like that, because it's all to do with the cigarette. I mean, I trained, I got about 14.10, no 15 something. I got down to 14.10. I was 10 pounds. Only died for 10 days. Didn't have a clue. I got on that stage and done it. I went. I came fifth. I think fifth out of 7th. I got fifth. But I've still got that stage, that experience.
It's a great experience.
Vince Brown, probably at the Elwood, know probably well. Vince Brown did really good poses, so keep it up and that. So I was good at posing. I went in a few more trained with that. I was in with the dinosaur. Remember him from down the thing? I can't remember his name now. He was Mr. Universe.
Oh yeah, Sean Davies.
Sean Davies,
yeah.
I competed with him and Mr. Sked. That's it. I won and come fifth again, but there was 12 in that lineup.
Yeah, going back
to
Eddie done, and Carl was great bodybuilder, brilliant back, but Eddie was persistent in his nutrition and religious in his hourly or 2 hourly food. I drove him down to audition for the Gladiators, the film thing. And on the way down, he had his pre-packed lunches and this, that, and the other. He actually gave me a good compliment in Bodybuilding Month. He said, thanks to my chauffeur, Kevin Kilty, driving us down, but he was very religious, and they wanted him as the main part, They wanted him for how he was, how he looked. And the reason he didn't get it, I think, was he was saying he had trouble getting up the ropes fast enough. The gym ropes. Other than that, Eddie'd have been on there. But he still, as you say, he still should have went on to be in films and that and what have you. But going back to yourself, Bri, when did you start getting into where you ended up getting a name for yourself and regularly fighting?
When I got on the door, there was 20 people would come in the club. Red card beat, and there was Dave Williams, who was the best fighter.
Dave,
he never lost a fight 10 years. They were all scared of him. And
did Dave work with you? Did he?
No. He was a bit of a bully, Dave Williams. Not people in here likes to bully Bucko and people like that. Fight for your wages. They used to have a car place down Warrenby. Big lad, about 17 stone, but only about 5'7". And I went to a club. I tell you what night it was when Bone Crusher Smith went the distance with Mike Tyson.
Oh,
so I goes in with my Uncle Tam and goes, I spilled his drink. It was like a little drink on the side of Coke for Pepsi. I'm sorry, mate, are you drunk? He said. I went, no, mate, I don't drink. I was only a kid. I was only about 19 at the time. I was only just come to Red Car. And goes in. It was when the Falcons, I was about 82.
82, it would have been 82, 83.
They would come back from the Falcons and stuff. So I was in there. And he was looking at me, Claire, and I thought, he was too big for me. I was only a little kid. So I comes out, anyway, I was training in the gym with Peter Ayton. I was swimming with Teddy Cooper and Jeff Robinson, good lad from Red. And they come in, trying to be clever with Craig. Were you pissed last night? I said, no, I wasn't pissed, mate. I don't drink. I said, I told you the night, sorry, what happened. I said, I did nothing wrong. I said, I spilled your drink, that was it. I said, pushing as a queue, about 300 people. He went, oh, I'll let you off for this. Well, I said, don't let you off, I've done that wrong. Like that. So I get in my head, I thought, yeah, I'm going to fucking batter you. So he had dated from 19, and when I was about 24, he bullied this kid, gave him a load of stuff to sell, and he couldn't sell it, this kid. So I didn't go looking for him. Craig actually for me, because Craig was best friends with him. He used to be on the bikes, and he used to be a motorbike shop, and he used to get bikes and that, and they were all in the Porsche and stuff. And Dave Williams was spoiled because his dad was a millionaire at gyms and that. And anyway, so I went to see Emma, and he came in this car. It was a Opel Manta. Remember them?
Yeah, the cars around there.
And I bashed him all over, and destroyed him in this fight. I picked him up and threw him over the top of the car. Absolutely, I hammered him, and he shit himself. He went to spank up and went, oh, he's just throwing me around like a ragdoll there. I said, I don't know what to do. He said, I don't know what to do. I'm petrified to go home or anything. So he got his dad to come back from America because he'd retired to America, come back and give Chino £2,000 for me to leave him alone. But he's dead. Chino and the Don's dead, but Dave's obviously, somebody said he went to Australia.
Did you end up making friends with Dave later?
No.
Didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I did. So I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it was. he bullied me bad.
He
bullied a lot of people.
I knew him a fair bit, but only from training with Craig.
But he had good fights. He never got beat for 10 years, so it's just something, you know.
Yeah, he had a name as a fighter.
We went to where it was Peter O got me to shake his hand. He said, "I'll do us a favour, Brad, shake his hand." He's petrified over there. So bullied for years. He bullied you when you were younger and all that. So Peter, he said, "Oh no." And then Peter sat with me and shook his hand, and he was all right.
Peter was quite feared as well.
Well, Peter was brilliant, lads. Me and him shook hands first time we went. But he come to see me about Lee Duffy. He said, "Oh, Lee's been shot." He said, "Can you leave him at the moment?" I said, "Well, was I?" But my finger was broken. That was dislocated. That I thought.
Was this when he got shot?
After
you
that,
went in jail.
I was going to fight him. I did the fight when you were there.
Yeah.
And then I left it because my finger was broken.
Your finger and your thumb.
My thumb was knackered.
Yeah.
So I had a splint thing under that. So anyway, long story short, I won't go through all that. But I went looking for Lee a few times. I chased him, and all these crap rumours. Somebody said, "Oh, you got beat off Lee Duffy Mills." We never fight Mills, but I'm some rubbish. Red car, you were there.
Yeah.
People
didn't know nothing. He didn't know nothing.
I was like, I remember not sure. I was saying, they may get in trouble. You're going, "I hope Brad beats that Dave Gaff." And I didn't I, mate? Yeah, so there's a few tries. Well, quite a lot of tries.
Yeah, I mean, you just used to hear about. I mean, even when I became friends with you, before it, you know, I was asking, inquiring about this big bride, Scotch bride, who is he, and and John Black, who.
Nice.
He doesn't. It's not. I didn't speak well of people. Yeah. He only speaks the truth about people.
Yeah, he does.
And I haven't heard him compliment that many people as fighters. But I can remember John, because I was working with John at the time, and John Howard, another good lad, John Howard,
good John,
who was once renowned. John or his family.
He had a good punch on him.
He did, yeah, and he was once renowned for. A horse barged into him and he punched it and knocked it over. A really good lad.
Come a couple of times to see us when we were on. I was only a kid then. He was a lot older than me, to see John, and then the Africas. Yeah, what we said.
Yeah, John had the door there, didn't he? Yeah.
So you heard these stories off John.
And I heard all these stories off John. That this Scotch bride is going to be a force to reckon with. He's a lad to be. He's very, very strong, and and just had this image of you, of how you were going to be. And then when I met you, but I'll come to that shortly.
Yeah,
the image was very similar to how I imagined you, but you come across as a lot more pleasant than I thought you would be. I thought you'd be a nasty fucker, and that, and you weren't. You were very gentle to good people and nice to good people, and but had a reputation then of fighting. But even then, when I first seen you, and I mean, when you worked on the door as well, to see you in, God knows where you got your white shirts from, because they must have been made to measure. But you also looked so healthy. Yeah. Wasn't that you were one of these 23 stoners that were bulked up?
Yeah, with a big belly type thing.
You had a very narrow waist and athletic ability.
I think that was always because John Black used to always teach me to keep fit as well.
Yeah.
Doing your spare P's and your squat thrusts and your press ups and your sit ups and things like that.
Cardio stuff to get
cardio stuff to keep your body weight down, your muscle tissue up. But
because literally then you were. This is before I'd met you.
Yeah.
I knew you were being targeted by door companies, pubs and that, to be more or less a Roman, not so much hitman, but a troubleshooter type of thing.
Well, I was writing every door in Redcar. I was working every door. I was doing all the doors sharp. Usually I was the top deck. I'd pop in for 5 minutes each club. So I was one of the first to start doing that type of work where you'd be covering like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 doors. And it was good, but it was hard work because it'd be fighters you've got to sort out. Travellers from here, travellers for there. We had to just do it. It was just
but them days, I know with you, this didn't happen with me because we only worked on one nightclub at a time, But I mean, then when people say, how many fights someone has, and estimated you might have had 1,000 fights, that doesn't mean I wouldn't say it in the street. No, that just I'm not disputing that. What I'm saying is that doesn't mean 1,000 fights in a ring.
No,
that means 1,000 incidents.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean, when you think of it, you probably had sometimes 15 incidents in one night.
That's right. Yeah,
and you've had to go to one club to sort out other trouble.
That's right.
And other trouble, and maybe it's times in these raids, even later years when you I mean, I remember one night you had about, well, I was told, I weren't there, 5 incidents in one night in the Eclipse, you know.
Yeah, it's never ended.
Because the Eclipse was our friends, Nigel, one of Don LaRoche.
Don LaRoche and Stevie Lloyd.
Yeah, Don's doing good, yeah.
He's a good lad. I've seen at the, I like Don, mate. I've seen him at the Aldi's a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, we'd have fight. John would take me in the park. But I remember he used to live in South Bank. John jumped in the pads and
Queen Street. He used
to say to me, "You're hitting hard and that's the most of the top 10 heavyweights." And if you don't believe me, ask him.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, what are you doing, Brian? And I did this with a lad called Julian Davies. It's in the Middlesbrough Gazette.
He's a good trainer, good coach, John, with that one. Yeah.
Well, Julian Davies from Wales met at Tidwell, and Big Tony, a lovely lad, were in the doors down there. And they'll come to say, do one for me, which you're seeing, it was 2000. The book came out 2002 called Street Fighters. He takes you on the pads. So I hadn't been on the pads for ages. And there wasn't time, wasn't there, and things like that. But he went, fucking, he said, you put my hands. He said, I've never had stinging hands like that. And John Black used to pull the pad back. I said, what are you doing? He said, no, not me with that power like that, because he said, they take people later on like it, they have a bad shoulder, don't they?
Really. And if you hit the pads too hard sometimes, you know, but you're right. And the power coming through then with hooks or even jabs and that, you know. And
it all comes from your legs, doesn't it?
So did he teach you quite a lot?
Yeah,
John, in the boxing scene.
Not just that.
And what was useful working on the door?
He teach me psychology about things and
very good at psychology.
Very, very good. You'd see sometimes you have to show you teach like a live show with them.
Yeah.
Other times you can be nice. He was always polite spoken.
He was very unpredictable. I'll tell you a story in a minute. Not yet though. Very unpredictable in his manner, where he'd be smiling and then lose it altogether.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry, Brian.
Yeah, no, you're right. But he was a lovely person to work with. Big Ben McDevitt. John Watson, old mates from Grangetown, Paul Cook, Gary Russell, Little Gunner, Tony Tapper, Tony Stubbs, loads and loads.
Some big names, good names, and they're good lads. And
all worked together. We had that Stockton box off, then we went to Leeds, you know.
Yeah.
And that was the first place where we went.
What did they call it? The club? Was it something to do with John Black? Was it Marco's?
It was in a back
alley. Yeah, I know. I went with John.
And you'd see these
John Graham
these cars going up and down, American type things and all that. And and we went down there.
Really rough house. I know which one you mean, yeah.
And I threw somebody out and then another one out, and then it was just loads of them in the alley trying to fight. It was a very dangerous place. We went down there, and on the way back, Steve Cover was on John Black's stepson.
We went
and bought a car. It was the exact same as the one off. John bought it, and he got it. We went and bought the car. You can buy cars. Cars then there's cash.
Yeah.
You know, we bought the car. And we're on the way back, and Steve fell asleep at the wheel. I woke up and grabbed the wheel, stopped us all getting killed in the car. Yeah, true story. That
I remember you telling us that. Yeah, but John had a lot of respect for you, and
I have a lot of respect for him.
John Black also. I say he was to look after Armadine with him for a while. Myself, John Howard, and we used to have the greatest driver in the world driving us about, Buster. You know?
Me and Teddy Dicko were driving along the motorway with Buster. I went, Buster, what's that cop car? No cop car. What's that cop car? What's that fucking cop car? What's that? The one with the big blue light on the top and police written across with Buster. He went, oh, that one. You know, and he's like, and we were at this job one day doing a debt, and you go and do the debt, and we're sitting there waiting for these people coming. I wasn't doing nothing, just nice. So the next minute, he's going, well, I've got my blood pressure tablets, I've got this tablet, I have Nurofen, I've got Diazepam, I've got this pan, I've got that. For fuck's sake, Buster, I've only got 3 months left on my tax. Will you tell me the story? And Terry was in the back, Christ, laughing. And we had so much fun with Buster because he was crackers, you know what they think. But we had some laughs for them, Terry and that, and we had good fun. But you can't do it now, it's all changed. Cameras and everything. People get cameras in the house, little keyhole cameras.
I know.
For a couple of quid, it's just the whole world. People's cars have got cameras on it. The whole world's gone banned on it. But yeah, we've been in this lockdown, but I think we've beat it, haven't we? We beat the plague, we've had the bubonic plague, we've had the Red Death, we've had all these other bad swine flus, this. So every 10 years or so, we always get, there'll be another one in 10 years time.
I personally think, and when we go into the nutrition side of it and the medicine, which a lot of people will be sat there thinking, what would them two fuckers know about medicine or nutrition? Basically, because anyone who's a doctor, who's a top car salesman like Norman Howard, and or whatever they are, you have an interest, you study it, you learn a lot.
Of course you do.
We didn't learn a lot and just become experts on Facebook since COVID's been about.
Of course.
But it's just been said lately that this Chris Whitty, who, you know, the scientist, who, he looks as if he's died already. He looks as if he's been dead 3 years, actually. And he said, well, what we should do is treat it like flu. I think we should have treated it like flu all along.
I do, yeah. I think that's all it is.
And it's sad that people have died from it, but what is more sadder than that, nothing's more sadder than a death, is that when someone's maybe suffered all their life with cancer or heart disease, that they've been brought in, and yeah, they might have had COVID, but it's been narrowing of the arteries or a cardiac arrest or a stroke that's killed them. Let's write this down as COVID.
Yeah.
And then it's putting fear of God into people. But I won't come off the subject. I will talk about another time. Because John Black had big respect for you.
Yeah.
He also used to, I heard him a little bit of time talking well about Lily Duffy.
Yeah,
and John Graham used to give John Graham a lot of credit.
Lad.
John's a good lad. And Brian
when
Graham.
I was a young kid, he's another one. John Graham looked after him. I was only a young lad and I went to town and notched and all that. And they all looked up because I was a little up there.
That group of lads were good lads.
Yeah, they all liked me. Teddy Woody and all them. And
very well liked lads.
Yeah, even his son and that later on.
Yeah.
I was in jail with all them. People like Kev Scott. I was in jail. His son looked after him. Ali Johnson, I was in jail. His son looked after him. I was in jail with quite a few lads' sons, you know.
Someone, a nice bloke, messaged me about Kev the other day, says, I'd not overly mentioned Kev Scott. The reason I hadn't was because there's, in a few episodes' time, there's a lot that I'm going to mention. I say I'm no one, but I've seen a lot, know a lot. Like there's also a few good compliments about Kev Scott.
Mate, you always will be, mate. You know that.
You know, there's some great compliments to come to people. You know, we haven't said everything about you yet, but Kev Scott will be one. I mean, Kev Scott was always asking about you, Big Brian. He was always impressed by you. And
we used to go to see him at the mall. We used to have the pub next door, and I used to have my food in there. And Ali was there, and Dadish and Mark Johnson.
Yeah, he had a good dog.
We all used to train, the four of us together. And we used to kill them in the gym. Mark Johnson used to go and go, you're just fucking alien strength, yo. We were doing 400-pound shoulder press seated. And I was in the red car, and Ali was helping with him. And I got ripped. Anyway, he just walked out of the gym. Ali said he's just alien strength.
It's soul destroying because when you see you and you're next to you and you look at them weights, I mean, people only look at them weights. I've felt them weights. I've been very strong myself, but probably them days when we were at Yarn Fitness World, and I was thinking about starting back again. I thought, fuck this, and I could have trained with you, which I did go quite a lot, but done my own thing because you were another level there, Brian. You really were. The strength on you was, I say, the only two lads I know of, strength-wise, who was in that capacity was you and Eddie Elwood. I know there was a few other lads who were very, very strong. There's one now called Mark McLaughlin. Do you know him? He's a strong man. Mark.
Deadlifter, he's good.
He just showed us some photos today of his son.
I think he trains with Lee Little. I think that lad.
Does he? Yeah, he's a nice lad. He's very strong. For his size, you know. But even all the other lads we've trained with over the years, some really hard, dedicated trainers. I was just thinking about who was the lad. Mick Brannigan will know this. The lad who actually died, a door lad. I think they call him Paul, someone really big.
From Paul Upton.
Paul Upton.
A very big, strong lad.
I'd never met him, you know.
From Darlington way, I think he was from that way, but a big, strong lad.
I'd not met him.
Another one who died.
But going back onto the scene where you ended up fighting, when was the first time you'd hurt someone and got worried?
I was at Leo's, and the first time was a bit of a skinhead kid there, 3 or 4 of them, and he headbutted him on the front and punched his mate, and he hit the floor and his head cracked, and he was in coma for 2 weeks. And then to get out of the way, and they just said, I was just glad to go to Phil wants to went to Norman Bushby, helped you up there, and Steve Brad, another great fight. He was APA champion boxer, and I worked on the Philmore, for that was a nightmare club. You had to go on the bus to take them because it was in the middle of nowhere. It was the best rave club ever in the North East.
Wasn't it?
And you'd go there and have all these people coming in with gas masks. And what the fuck? And they'd have like bricks inside the gas mask and doing all these mad dances. And what the fuck? I was only 22. And I worked there with them, but they were on the door and I was upstairs. They've got to know the DJ, and that was good. It's a good experience. But what happened, you'd be fighting with them. Then you had to get on a 52-seater bus to take them home.
Yeah.
So you're on the bus with 10 lads, you've been fighting, you're on your own, you've got no door on the back up, you sat there going, what's going on here? And a few times I opened them back doors and kicked the back door, you know, the edge, you know. Yeah, it was.
Did you ever come across any? I mean, obviously, I'm going to go into all the fight and carry on a little bit tonight and next week, and you know, there might be more episodes here than there's Rambo and Rocky 5. But
I've got my t-shirt at 26.
did you? Was there many people trying to press charges against you when you'd hurt them, or?
A few, but they never. Craig Beer said there. He said, I made more money off you than ever anyone. I was on bail once for 5 years. I get bail, get caught, get locked up, back on bail next day. I was fighting every time, every night nearly, everywhere, going all over, like Gisborough, Whitby, Hartlepool, Stockton. I was everywhere, I was all over the place. I was fighting anyone in Bishop Auckland, got people to fight.
I can remember you fighting Bishop Auckland. People want to fight you from Scotland, you're going up Scotland, people want to fight you from Ireland, Europe, London, all sorts.
Most of them never turned up at these fights, and they'd say the singing, they'd never turn up. But one of the West ones, I went to a fight, and with all the travelling lads, I get on the travelling lads.
Yeah, you get on really well, don't you? Yeah.
I knocked this kid out within about 10 seconds. He wouldn't pay the money, so it was a fix. I thought, not going to be a fuck. And they come out with shotgun, I thought, I'll just leave it. We walked off. So 200 quid, it wasn't a lot of money.
Because sometimes you've got to be smart as well, haven't you? As well as, you know.
Of course. And the things with them, travelling lads, they can just move on. Like, a lot of favours for lads like that.
Yeah.
A lot have asked me lately for someone to go and see them. I went, no.
Yeah, you were in a position now where, why should you?
Nah,
you don't need to. You've turned the eye hope, and you know, I don't like to see anyone get into any trouble or go to jail unless it's someone who deserves it.
Course,
and there's the odd ones who do deserve it, you know, won't mention nothing. But, you know, one of my hopes is that, especially yourself, because of what you've been at, you're never tempted to lose your temper or throw a punch or have a fight again in your life. Because you don't need to. What have you to prove? You don't have to prove anything to anybody. That proves there.
It's like talking to somebody like Robert De Niro and acting.
I've done this,
Richard in running.
You know, or I'll go back and do it again. You don't have to. You've done it.
There, seen it done it. The t-shirt, got the t-shirt, wore the t-shirt, made a documentary. He's done it.
Yeah,
still doing it now.
And the thing is, I can remember a few fights that you'd went to and gone to, and whether they're arranged fights or just off the cuff incidents. Where you'd come to me sometimes and saying, I'm going to see this lad tonight, Brad, you want us to come? No, I'm with so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. And you just, you went, it was like a job to you, you'd go and, you know. And
I'd still have the fear in you, because every fight now, you've got that nerves and fear, but to go in the cities on your own and get dropped off, to fight people like Vince Graham, people like that.
I know,
Wouldn't be able to do it now.
Well, obviously, it was a profession where you won it, you know.
26, 27, that was really good, but I did.
Well, actually, we come across something the other day, you know, we were looking out in the garage, and I've got a big double garage, which I have off Lesmo, and we've got 30 years worth of stuff, and you can imagine with the kids, I keep everything, a birthday card, a photo, and we come across Maureen's husband's inquest papers of how he died in prison. She got them back, and the kids are going to read through them, which it's quite sad, actually. But through them all, Richard said, look what I found, Dad. Looked, and guess what it was?
No.
The white boots
of
yours.
The blood boots,
what we give to Colin So one of them, by the way.
Yeah, just one of them,
You know, and by the way,
don't get them fucking out. Straight the DNA, I'll be
I've already bleached them.
The blood boots.
Yeah, the blood boots,
They went to me, where's he fucking man? Slaughterhouse.
Well, actually, I worked in the slaughterhouse once, you know, with Devises at Middlesbrough, and my job was swilling the blood down after they'd shot the bulls, and they put the bulls in the thingy. And
I couldn't do it.
I love animals. I couldn't do it, and I packed in after a week. But the last time I seen blood like that was in there. But you always used to come to my house, didn't you? You know,
I'd come all the time, didn't I? Pop in and Kev Steve's all right.
Another quick story to tell was
you lived in the middle of the first met, yeah. Cabbage Club was over that side, and then you lived at the top end.
Yeah.
You first go in, the Roseberry was on the left, and you lived on the right.
That's right, yeah.
You used to come there.
Another time I can remember, obviously, you've had incidents where you were target number one, the police wanted you.
Yeah.
And when you were, I think this time was probably certainly before you got involved taking any crack or like that.
Oh, yeah.
But you might have been just touching on the rave scene.
Yeah.
And obviously, massive lad. And there was a number of occasions I remember where you were either charged or going to be charged. And obviously, them days, if someone was interfering with witnesses, i.e., if Brian was charged with malicious wounding or attempted murder or just common assault, you know, some people who didn't know him would want to charge him and want to jail him, blah, blah, blah. And I remember a number of occasions, Brian, that, I mean, you couldn't do it now, and it wasn't in the way that you wanted things done, and people approached diplomatically. Yeah. If anyone's looking at any
John Black taught me that. He used to say, if you had a friend, you had a fight with someone, Richard did, and he was a friend of mine, the person in the fight, I could go up and say, what are you doing? You can't go to the police.
Yeah.
I did what then. Another lad was kung fu expert. We had a fight with my friend. What are you doing? You can't go to the police because you got beaten in a fight. So that used to happen a lot, didn't it? Because I tell you what it's called, old-style committal.
Old-style committal, yeah.
Old-style committal meant
or a pre-trial review, yeah.
What you used to have to do is you'd go to the magistrates, they would get the paperwork, so they'd come with the solicitor, and I'd come with my solicitor. But 9 times 10, nobody turned up, and this didn't turn up, no witnesses turned up, that was kicked out. This was just before you went to Crown Court, totally different now. So see what evidence you had to go to Crown. If they had nothing,
they'd send you to Crown, obviously. Yeah, and that was from anything from a common assault to afraid to murder, you know. But obviously, them days, some of the people you had incidents with might not have known you by name, and just wanted to make a complaint, or the police would think, hey, he's done something to them, even if it was a common assault.
Oh, they'd love
and get him. But diplomatically, obviously, you would be, if someone went and says, hey, drop the charges on Brian Cockrell, you're perverting the course of justice. And that carries, or them days, 4 year sentence. If it was you, it'd be a 10-year sentence. But just a question.
I got stopped one night for just attempting to cross the road. That was it.
But
I remember being honest, we did. There was me, Adish, and Matt Johnson. We were on Linthorpe Road. We were looking at the furniture shop. There's a kebab shop over there. I worked at downtown in Stockton. We used to go for kebab there because it was in Stockwell as well. So we stood there looking at set of eating nice. And this copper come sat and going, what you's doing here, yo's, because they were two black lads, you know, just being racist, horrible. I was, leave me alone, yo. Oh, you I'm talking, what's the fucking talking, you horrible bastard. Next minute, 9, 10, 9, all the police,
immediately.
They put me in this van. So Adish was there to tell
I remember a couple of times when the doors went off.
And Mark Johnson, and so I could hear him lying bastard. So I hit the door like this, boom, and the door just snapped and the lock come off.
I know.
He's broke the lock,
It's never been done before.
He said he's broke the lock, and the policewoman turned to the inspector, you'll get in the back there. No, I'm not getting in the back with him. You'll get in the back with him. And he wouldn't get in the back with us. In the end, this cop said, you're going to be here and all that. I said, how do you snap that lock? I just whacked it.
Totally, yeah.
I was that strong when I was
a couple of times that, but didn't they just let you out and say, oh, fuck it?
Yeah, let me go next day, let me go.
But some of the charges that you were charged with, or would have been charged with, ended up getting dropped, didn't they?
Yeah, they couldn't prove that.
Couldn't prove it.
No witnesses. I remember Verilla Cohen up once, and then Judge MacDonald, 15 witnesses went missing on that weekend, and then they came back 3 or 4 weeks later. They've all been in Blackpool.
Because obviously, you would be, if someone had to go to these people who were going to charge you, or had charged you, you would have to be very diplomatic, or that you weren't going to get in trouble. They weren't.
Well, what I used to do if I had people doing things like that, I'd be in a pub, covered up, sat there, something happened somewhere else, nothing to do with me.
But when some people, I'll give you an instance, say like you'd assaulted or you'd injured someone or broke the jaw of someone, and the charges were there and you were going to court and it looked like you were going to get to jail. One big question was to get someone diplomatically to go and talk to them. Why did you always fucking come to me?
I was going to say, who would you go to?
Why was it me?
It was either you or
nervous
John,
all the time, nervous.
John Black.
But I would go about it diplomatically in a way where this.
No, nobody got threatened.
No.
Now he's a good lad. You've had a go at him.
I can remember one
punch and you've got peace.
A couple of times where the coppers wanted you that much target number one. You were in the Showcase Cinema and there was a security guard there, guard, and you went out.
I remember this,
And you just shoved it. And they went to charge you, didn't they? Well, the coppers were all over wanting charging.
Well, what happened? We were out that night. I'll tell you. I forgot about that. Sorry, me, Stevie Lancaster, Jeff Brown, and all that. We went to the pictures on the way there from Sandbridge. You see the strawberry fields, the real strawberries. We're in there pitching strawberries and driving the 30 grand car. And the farmers had fucking killies and all that. We all run off. And we went to the pictures. It was Mario. Well, remember Mario? That was on. We sat there. I put my feet up, and he went, "This man come down here. You take your feet down. I'm the manager." I went, "Fuck off, you dickhead." And he went, "Take your feet down." Fuck off. The next minute, he got the plates. So anyway, as we were coming out of this shit, anyway, let's go. It was crap. So we goes out. He goes up the pictures. As we're going out, he went, "You're going nowhere." The security. I went, "The fuck are you?" Anyway, I just hit him on the chest, and his feet went like that.
You just shoved him,
didn't you? Slid right across the shiny floor. And nearly fucking broke his fucking back. I think he slid across the floor. The cops come and he went, "Oh, I'm going to press charge." And, "Oh, he's dangerous, you know. He's been up for, we're trying to get him for shootings and people have been shot and this, that, and the other." He said, "If I was you," and the cops talked to him, "Oh, fucking go to shit yourself."
Yeah.
I think you've seen him with told him.
Yeah, and I
walked across. I remember.
I walked across and spoke to
where
him.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I was just chatting with him, "Nice night tonight, blah, blah, blah." I said, I was in here last night, wasn't there an incident? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, who was it with? "Oh, a lad called Bry Cockrell, he's killed people before and all that." I said, "Yeah, I know Bry." I said, "I tell you what," I said, "to be honest with you, he's a nice man, you know, he'd be the best to help you out if you had any trouble." "Would he really?" Yeah, but honestly, he's a real good man, you know, I'll mention it to him." He said, "Oh, okay then, well, I'm not going to press charges. Will he help me out?" "Well, he says he knows me, you know." And that was one. And then there was another one, I won't mention the names, and
I know what this one is.
In case anything comes back of it.
Radios.
You allegedly, well, not allegedly always, this person was doing something to one of your friends and you chinned him and really busted up his jaw in a bad way, and then allegedly they'd made up this story that you'd done it with a baseball bat, which she said and then you were charged. And
well, the person's wife said I hit him with the right hand, and then the person hit him with the back. So that's one of the reasons we got off. Plus, so you went to see
but you did get charged, didn't you?
Yeah, I got charged, but we were looking to go.
And again, he asked me to go and represent you.
Yes, and you went to go and see him at the tall trees. I remember that night.
All the damn.
And the kid had 300 fights. Never lost a fight. Because he had one fight away. I knocked him out and he grasped me up. I couldn't believe it. John Black couldn't believe it. He said, John had a hard fight with him. He said it was a really tough fight. He said, but you can't go and play.
He was a tough lad at the time, and I had to go again thinking, "Fucking hell, am I going to get 4 years?" You know, that carry on with Bry, you know, there's any way, you know, you can maybe he's rectify it, is what got took with and then there was money exchanged, and I had to hand the money over. And I think the money, even though you had a lot of money at the time, I think you had to go and not get the money. A lad give you the money, see your bride gives it back when. Can you remember who the lad was? It's Shirley Bradshaw, wasn't it? Keeler wants to come on as well. He'd be a good story,
Leslie was his stupid, wasn't it?
So there was a number of stories like that.
Was there when the lad went to the hospital, was knocked out.
And
he was knocked out for about 30 minutes. They were trying to bring home, smell himself. Brian Cockrell beat me up, Brian Cockrell. And then he was there because he broke his leg. He was in the cubicle in the hospital, in North East Hospital.
Another incident I remember is when it was Ozzy Bingham, a friend who rang me up. He said, Bry. I said, I haven't seen him. He said, he shot someone at Thornaby. I said, "Are you sure? He's not the type he can get things done." He shot someone, so. And it was all over the news for about 3 weeks or more.
It's still in the papers now.
You know, it was a big story. It was in the headlines and on the news.
Well, if you type in Redcar Road, Thornaby, you'll see the incident in there.
Right.
But I was nicked in as a band. I was in the van for over an hour. I was SES. It had nothing to do with me whatsoever. It was someone else. Because I was seeing that vicinity that, Tim Cockrell. I'm told me again now.
And didn't they keep bailing you to hope that there was something coming?
Yeah, I was on bail for 50 months for nothing, and just. But the barrister said, a solicitor and a barrister, a friend of mine said, what that was for, if you'd done anything and you threw a piece of paper, you'd been remanded because you're. And the remanded me on another one was the Iceman who had a fight with Chris Curry. I saved the man's life.
That's a big black lad,
yeah.
Big lad, him, wasn't he?
Well, monstrous. Biggest, even bigger than strongest man I've ever seen.
Very, very big
monstrous. He had no heart, though, and he had no.
Because didn't he used to go out with Mark Johnson's ex?
Yeah, Gail.
Gail, yeah. And I can remember them days as well, over a period of years. You'd have people literally wanting to do favours for you, just for you to be well in with them, you know.
Yeah.
I've known people who've offered to shoot people for you, who've offered, seriously,
to
kill
for people now.
You know, as if they wanted to do it like the Wild West, you know what I mean?
I'll do that shot with you, Brian.
For a few dollars more.
Speedy was terrible. Speedy, he was crunched. He'd have a bit of argument with somebody.
I think he missed a few targets, though, didn't he? He wasn't a great shot.
Fucking hell. He'd say, you have an argument with somebody, he'd say, I'm going to shoot him. I haven't even talked to you like that.
Yeah.
It's a bit of an argument, Speedy, forget about it. He'd go around, it was lethal.
Because
we had Maggot was the same, buddy. Maggot was all
Maggot,
he was a good lad from the Grange Town, mate.
So
he was mad.
The amount of weapons that were about them, Bri, there was a lot on there. No matter what, there was a lot of firearms about one.
A lot of firearms, a lot of people killed then. A lot more people killed then. Firearms than is now. A hell of a lot. But I stopped most of the firearms coming through from Liverpool, Manchester.
I mean, at that time, to be honest with you, I'm not defending myself or whatever. I weren't overly into any crime such as then.
I was saying there, what was the Red Road thing? That was the one where I got done for the shooting,
Yeah, you got done for the shooting. Yeah. But there was people then knew I was well in with you with the training, and I wanted to keep out of bother. I had young kids and that, and I weren't getting into bother. But obviously, I knew a lot of people, and a lot of people knew I knew you well, and people used to pull me up, you know, like lads who had big names and said, I was Big Bri, yeah. Does he want any jobs doing? I said, what do you mean? Oh, no, I'll do them for now. Yeah. And I had one lad, I don't know how serious he was, but he was in one of the pubs down the borough. I think it was a centre or somewhere, Irish lad. Come over, you know, Bri Cockle, don't you, yeah? Does he want any Semtex? Fuck
yeah.
You know,
people mad, weren't they?
It's serious, but then in another story that was spoke about was a couple of fights, big fights that he apparently had, which I don't know the full story of, but I know a bit about him. Was at the top at the spinning wheel. Can you tell us some of them, Brian?
Oh yeah, we had some fights. We had one. I've told this a few times, people there, but I'll tell them again. We worked on the doors, me, John Black, and the lads. We used to go. There was 7 of us worked there, but we used to work at the other clubs. That was the Wild West. There used to be like about 50 of them on the front. They were national front from all over, and they used to throw stones at us. And I've told this story a few times, and people have heard it. So which one was throwing money at us, a couple of quid and all that stuff. Next bit of stone, I fuck this. I ran out and knocked about 7 of them on the ass. I caught one, bang, dropped him. That never fucking hurt. Anyway, he got up, pushed himself back, and he run back, shouting at me, how are you? And the car went bang, bang, knocked him over, broke both his legs. I shouted, that fucking hurt, didn't it? Anyway, the cops goes by, I went, oh shit, well, he went, all right, officer. You didn't see that fight, did you? I went, oh, the lad who got knocked over. He said, hey, you won't believe it. The funny thing was, it was his own car. It was his brother-in-law come to pick him up to take him to work. So yeah, it was mad.
I can remember that story.
I remember fighting there.
But you were good at one-liners then as well, you know.
Yeah, it was funny. It was really good. But yeah, that was that. Then when I beat Henry Ayab, he was one of the top travelling fighters.
Was he from that way?
He's from that way. He come in. He tried to get in. I said, used to be at like pine piece suppers then. So you used to pay like you could be until 1 o'clock, but you could only get served till 11. So people would buy like 4 pints.
I'd have food.
And when he come to the door, I said, "Taffy, mate, you can't go anywhere." And he said, "How are you going to stop me?" And I remember he used to come in. He's like 6'7", like Tyson Fury type, but not as big. Big lad with big loads of gold. Tommy something from Spain where he was in there as well. And I come in anyway. He fucking tried to set about me. And they called him the dentist because he had a big right hand. Knocked your teeth out. You had the dentist the next day. So anyway, he tried this fucking trick with me. I ducked and hit right up, I couldn't left hook as he fell down, shattered his jaw. Come back, John McIntyre side, come back, Steve Corwell, Kenny and all them were cooking that with John Watson from Grangetown, and he went to get the shotgun out of the car. I ran that fucking bolt at the car door, and all the glass bared out, you know, exploded because the glass.
Did he have the shotgun in his hand?
He had it in his hand, went about, and they just spun off. They were in the jack. It was John's jam. Never seen him again. Yeah, it was.
Because there's a few times
I remember
your life was at risk, wasn't it? There's no doubt about it. None at all
no
about
doubt
that.
about that.
No,
There were times where people have tried to shoot me, and I've been very lucky. And people put guns on me.
and there's people tried to take your life. And I mean, some of the incidents where you have, I mean, one of the incidents where it was in the papers again and the news everywhere, when you were at Tommy Harrison's house, by the looks of it, they tried to do you in.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Trying to kill me, but I'm still here.
Yeah,
30 years later, still fighting. And
one day
fighting
he showed you the big scar,
covered in scars, covered in holes, stab wounds. But you're one of them people, if you kill me, I'll still get back up.
I know,
I just won't give in. Never give in. That's just my theory. So,
because of all the weapons you were hit with in the house, and obviously, again, you're going to get the odd clown who knows nothing, says, "Oh, well, that happened." But you know, this is the score. What you say happened did happen, and there was probably, I would like to say, was there 7 or 8 weapons involved, whacking radiators out, hammers,
baseball bats, hammers, handgun, shotgun, busted shotgun down his bollocks. Tommy else had a gun to his head. Kid was there, another kid, threatened to shoot him if he didn't phone me up. I went to the house, and I goes then, got it on the end of the hammer, got holes over my head, you can still bleeding out this day. And I just come in, hit a few of them, went down, goes in the next room. Heavyweight boxing champion was there, big lads from Newcastle, London, Liverpool, Sunderland, massive lads. They're all done life. 5 of them been killed. I think have been killed since that incident, and a lot of them have done life.
Yeah, there's a big squad there, one of the big
massive squad, and they were hit me with all sorts. But the worst one was it was like a sock, but it was filled with, it was like no chamois leather. It was like that, and it was filled with marbles. And he hit me in the face when I was up, because I felt the floor in the end. And it wrapped around my face and it hit my eye, and I thought my eye exploded. I felt it was gone. I was just pouring the blood, it was coming out, hitting the sea, and there was blood everywhere. And they gave the lads whose house it was, Tommy Harrison's, £5 grand to clean the house up. But when they got me, the cops, they went, look, we know what it is, this, that we've stopped them on, because they were that clever, the ones from Newcastle, phoned up on their own phone. They picked him up with the satellites, knew it was them. So I ended up going to court and getting them all off. I went to court, got them all off, I haven't arrested anyone. So
the police were really on to you, press charges, even though they wanted you in jail.
Yeah, but what they wanted me to do was give evidence against these people, because they had enough evidence to convict them. There were 20 years they were looking at.
Oh, they'd been big jail.
And the same people of lunatics have been done for attempted murders and murders. Tried to take me out again because I took a lot of money off them. I kept taxing them, I just wouldn't stop. They said that's him finished. 10 days later, I was out taxing again.
I mean, that was an attempt on a serious attempt on your life.
But they were done for attempted murder and randos. I went to see one of those, got them off, and I got them. All it did is enhance my reputation. There was 8 to 12 lads with hammers and bars and guns, can't put him out of the game, and he's come back.
And not press charges.
And not press charges. It was all over.
And the police made it known that you wouldn't press charges.
Well, what they've done is I got nicked from beating the boxer up. He made a statement against me, and I was locked in. Oh, please give me. I'm under armed guard here. I was under armed fucking arrest. Took me to the police station. You'll only be in a couple of hours. Kept me in there for 3 days. Took 2 or 3 days. My leg all got infected. Went to court. I had to go up the stairs. They had to carry me on the chair because I couldn't walk. My leg was that bad. And
didn't you come out of the hospital after how long were you in hospital?
I was in one hospital, then they moved me for another, and they had 2
because you had multiple injuries, didn't you?
Stabbed all over, 176 stitches.
And it with hammers and everything.
Bars, baseball bats, everything.
But your legs were that heavily muscled and strong. That there wasn't a bone broken in your legs.
No, nothing was broke anywhere. Never broke.
That's inhuman.
That's got to be Jesus in it again. So
that's some fucking good genetics.
It was a miracle.
It was inhuman to say you hadn't had it. And I remember you used to show my kids. I won't get
was massive for it.
The big scar on his leg.
Yeah. It took about 8 years to heal, probably that. Yeah. Kept training, kept busting on.
But you got a lot of respect for that off a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not pressing charges and
I thought, well, that's what I do. You can't be switching lanes if you're in the gang for a while. You can't change.
But then a few people either prior to or after it had incidents where whether anonymously or whatever, they'd been injured as well, hadn't they? You know, which you don't need to say now about that, but people have had the paybacks in lots of ways, you know. I can remember even at the Eclipse, which was one of the biggest raves ever.
The best one ever. The thingy one was the legal one. This was the illegal one, and we had that. And we had 3,000 people in there.
Yeah,
they were taking 45, 50 grand a night on the.
They reckon they were taking the money out in plastic bags. Or was it you taking it out?
Ridiculous amounts of money. I'm not joking. There was people said there wasn't much money. There was people in the game know the money in the 80s. There was loads of people.
Manufacturing.
Remember that night you put a lot of money around
on the table
and said, "See."
I said, what's this then? I had 20 grand and I put it on allegedly from ecstasy. So
no one went anywhere.
On the table, I put
20,000.
I laid down on the thing there on the floor. Maggot was there, and Tony Johnson and all that. I put 20 grand on the table.
I couldn't see the stuff like that.
And everyone was in there, and just after the people just went by, nobody dare touch it. That's the truth. I did it just to take the piss. To see if we had the ball to do it.
But you were literally, you know, I mean, when stories go on about...
You get people saying, oh, he's making this.
Oh, there are lots
of people at Teesside know, and the little keyboard warriors make, oh, there's no such thing.
We're not trying to bully you up as, oh, big prize. It's the tales, lots of yous out there have tales of some of these lads over the border, Nosh Howard, John Graham.
Well, all them like John Graham, Nosh Howard, all know
tales, you know, and, not tales, truths, you know. And the big stories, I mean, and these stories have travelled as far as Scotland. I mean, you go to Scotland and people talk about, you know, Paul Ferris, who's got big name. Yes. But that name has travelled down here. Well, and the same as these names travelled down here, your name has travelled everywhere else.
Holloway said, he said, what's made you the biggest famous thing is the things what you've done, but it's the McIntyre documentary. It's been seen by, I think it's been seen by 3,860,000.
So how many is it?
100,000 have been seen by like 500,000, 5 million people have seen that one by the end of this year. It's just
some of that, we can go into that in the next few episodes.
Yeah. Can you just say thank you to Keith Commander? He's Carl Valley's friend, and he's going to give us some lamps and stands for the show.
Oh, brilliant.
So,
Keith Commander. I want them for free. Message.
He said you can have them. So nice, Carl Valley's friend, so he said you can have them.
Message me on Instructor.
Not an instruction, so we'd love them, wouldn't we?
Oh, we would, mate. Thank you.
That's really,
Carl's a lovely lad.
Really nice of you to do that. Is this stuff for the podcast?
Carl's a brilliant lad.
Yeah, if there's any good podcast here, because this is going to be going on for years with you in different venues.
We're going to start upgrading stuff, but that's the thing that people help.
No, you've got lots to go on.
Well, we started off with a little phone. We couldn't afford it to tell you the show, so we started off. We didn't even know if it was going to take off, but we're up to just under 5,500 people in 5-6 months.
It's good.
But you get these other ones for 50,000, 60,000, but they're nearly all fake accounts to put on.
You
buy the fake account for
the compliment themselves.
And you can tell the fake because look at the fans we get on here.
Genuine.
You go on there, there's about 100,000 people and they're getting about 40 comments.
Yeah, but when they put a comment on Facebook, they get one comment back.
Say hello to yourself, Brian. I'm the real Brian Cockle. Say ya.
Hello, Brian. I'm the real Brian Cockle. Hello, Brian. How you doing, mate? Someone else is starting to be me again. You're using my name. I want money for it. I'm warning you.
He said, "Why's a guy on the screen pretending to be me?"
Yeah, very good. And I've had that loads of times where I've been threatened with me. I was waiting on the door once, and somebody came in and he said, "You think I can get my fucking brother on you?" I said, "What's your brother name?" And Brian Cockle. I said, "Won't get in there." Just crazy, you know.
I'll have the same again, Emma, please. Just from a throat, just from a distant
the things we're telling are just things that have really happened. Not making it up. I don't tell lies. Check them. Go to the Middlesbrough Police will tell you. Go in the archives in the Gazette and you'll see all these stories. I mean, I got nicked for 3 tunes at the Blue Monkey. Nothing to do with me. I was in Renke at the time of the shootings. Well, these things are there. You can go and check them up in the Gazette. The stories about me boxing training with the first book, The Street Fight by Julian Davies. Go on there and see what he says. But they're all there. They're not made up stories. They're just made. That happened. And that's why I've got this name. And it's not me trying to be big-headed. I'm not saying what I did was great, but that's what I did in them days. And if people want to dispute, let them dispute. But people in them days didn't say that to me. Never said, "Well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that," and never done fuck all.
But the main cause of it as well, Brad, you were also you're doing these podcasts with another venture of aim to try and talk people who may follow in your footsteps.
No, I don't want people to follow it.
To not do that, to not get into crime. You know, the young lads up and coming now, you know, we're getting into drugs big ways.
No good.
Some of your mates next to you will be setting you up.
And the thing is, in all of that drug world, all these big ones run on with big gold chains on, they never get caught, and they've got big houses, and all you keep getting caught, using lads. The main one who's selling you the drugs is getting you caught. They grasp people up. That's why they stay out for years. We've got them in this town with them being to jail, and everyone round them every now and then gets caught with a key of coke. And Dave Woody said to me, how can he afford to get caught with a key of coke? Because they'll put an ounce of coke in 35 ounces of mix and give this lad, that lad, and this lad. 3 people caught today in Mills with 3 kilos of coke. Really, there's only 3 ounces. It's just the police look great in the papers, and that's what they do. And you know yourself, Kevin.
I think years ago it was probably more rife in that way.
Not so much now, because come forward years ago, the police stations, there was more police taking cocaine than there was bloody people on the streets. I'm not just saying to be nasty. It was that right, 30 years ago. They were lining up for gear off people. It was just ridiculous.
I mean, I never seen that side, but they reckon there was quite a few police.
Well, loads got sacked, didn't they? And loads is just unbelievable. But it's different now. It's different. The police now are totally different compared to what in them days. A few, and they've been coming on the week about the podcast and we're smashing on the front. So it's totally different. I think what it is now, you can tell the different. Obviously, you've got these camcorders on, a Red Bull, and they've got all this sort of technology now, so they can't get away with beating people they used to. It's all old hats, and
a lot of these police officers are young lads, and that's college, university, and some of them
trying to make a couple of quid on the
some right. It probably is some like there was years ago, but certainly not like the way. I mean, going back to the crime, there was. I mean, as I say, Maureen's been in demand for interviews, but we've got to legally check things out because there's some things that's been done to her that are really bad, which would not have happened if her husband was alive or her other husband was alive. And and there's some good stories as well. But going back to the stories, what you were involved with, I mean, how many attempts would you say you've had on your life where it's in front of you?
I couldn't say, Kevin, that many.
You know, like where
people have tried to shoot me at Red Car, people have tried to shoot me, and I've been shot at in Red Car. I've seen people, all the Daft Dillingers. I was even mentioned the House of Commons by Marjorie Moore. There's bloody running gun battles in Red Car. I went in my constituency, and I was going to be out of jail. I caused the riots in Radwood. I caused the riot in Durham. They must fucking hate me. I was a policeman. I did me. Yeah, of course, the riots in the thing. Then they went all over the country, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, of course, the riot in there, fucking Durham, they all sat down and they all went on the roof.
But then, as much as you were allegedly caused the riots in prison, you were probably the one that dampened them down.
Well, it was, I got put the block over, signal for the lads, and they all sat down. 176 lads sat down. Elderstone was there.
What, in the yard?
Benson, Brian Lancaster, all of them. Yeah, they got sat down. No, they went on the roof. On the roof.
Benson's a good lad if he's watching.
Benson's a good lad. They got two. They brought that mutiny charge out. They all got 2 years apiece.
Yeah.
They all sat down. The one come off. They had, I think it was like 400 screws coming in the end, and they were going, "Come on down," and battering them. And what they used to do then, they'd batter you, break your leg, or break your arm, just moves you into the jail. Can't get away with that now, so it's different.
Very hard one. And now, obviously, there's private companies running the prison, innit? And there's a lot of people looking for jobs in prison, which allegedly now with decent.
I've been disrespectful, but it's not a nice place to work.
No, it's not.
There's that spice with their own. And the lights and peril of the year. I mean, I've got a nice one, Mr. Feeney, Mr. Davison, nice blokes, just normal bloke. But Mr. Feeney was a boxer from Grangetown, and Mr. Davison, he's about 78, 80 now. I've seen him a few times, lovely bloke.
Yeah.
And Mr. Feeney worked in Home House. He was from the Bjorky, nice lad.
Yeah.
They just come there doing a job. Yeah, of course, you've just got to do your jail. I don't kick off. I've kicked off a few times, but the last time I went, I thought, all right, boss, no problem, thank you, and that was it. You know, just get on with them because you didn't there because you got caught yourself, haven't you? So,
going back to the clips, as I say, I only went there once or twice, and one of the times that I went there was the incident where you clocked the lad and you caused the really.
Oh, it was horrendous, that, wasn't it?
I don't
know, I done it. All it was little Basil man.
But I actually seen the movement, and you moved that fast. It was.
He was getting battered by this big lad called Gilly. He's not with us now, that lad. He's passed
I
away.
know, yeah.
And he tried to have a fight with me. I've knocked him. I broke his jaw twice. That lad, big fucking lad, though, wasn't he? But he's like a farmer bill. I caught him this left hook slap, and his jaw must have ripped his teeth, ripped his jaw right down there. His jaw was like the joke on his teeth.
It was actually quite sickly to see, because when you close up, because the cut was from here, the mouth to the ear, and you could actually see all the teeth inside. But you give the lad his due. He didn't go to the police.
No, he didn't me up.
And
his girlfriend was trying to say I jumped over 6 lads all that.
It was just
one Brian hit me once.
And I think again, as
you're behind me when I was taking him downstairs. I remember it.
Yeah, and I remember what you had on that night. Actually, you dropped quite a lot of weight, and I think you were about 19.5, 20 stone, but looked really good. You had a leather jacket on, and a pair of jeans unusually, and you looked really, really healthy at the time.
Yeah, that's what it was, mate.
Yeah, probably. Even though you weren't in your best, in your close lighting capability, a few arms you probably got off your head, and you weren't capable of what you know.
Every weekend, they did the meal, dancing away, there's loads of way for you. Super fit though doing this, but I don't like saying anyone take drugs, but it's just what happened then. We all had a good time at the time. Days are gone now, totally different.
That actual smack that you did there, talking about people where blah blah blah.
I've done that with another kid.
If you'd have that same slap with other people, no matter who it was, they'd have been badly injured. Doesn't matter who it was.
I think another one called Flecky from Broughton, about 19 stone. I caught him the left hook slap, knocked him, and he had another one with Stephen Sayers and Michael Sayers was there. And this lad was a bit of a boxer. I thought it was related to him. He said, my fucking names. No, there was I fucking slapped him. And he's head at the green railings, the railings when you go on the road. We stood outside the Madison's, knocked him out the slap. Fifth frame couldn't knock him out the palm of his hand.
Emma, can you take this out, please? Sorry, I didn't set it up, just put it outside there.
Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Probably the police trying to get us.
Yeah, trying to get us.
Danny boy.
So you literally, by the looks of it, got the Eclipse shut down, didn't you?
Yeah, it's all the trouble in there.
Because there was a big, the roads were cordoned off each night. It was target number one.
What happened is we allegedly went back and had a fight with the boxing lad, destroyed him, one punch caught in the left hook, broke his jaw. Aki was there.
Was there? I'm not going to say you, but
there's lads from Newcastle.
There was some lads with you. Introduced herself by putting a gun to the owner's head, didn't they?
Yeah. And there was 5 or 6 guns found. I was arrested, so we went in with Mr. Uzis, which was fucking shite. We went in, he had $50 with the lad on from Liverpool, and we were on the door with him. I couldn't go by myself, I'd have got killed. So we allegedly went in the back with little Basil and them come with us.
It looked as if it was a military style operation.
Well, the police were outside all the time, but knew the person who was running the door knew I was coming for him. And I trained for 10 weeks with little Frankie, come back, had the fight, and I remember opening the door because little Don Ross was in the office. It was a tiny,
it was Don's club, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a tiny little room. He was a good boxer, fought for British heavyweight title, but when you opened that door, he went, Bribe, and I just come bang, right hand, left hook. I hit on the floor, and I just went bang, 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 punched him all over, made a mess of him. I think I broke his jaw in half a dozen places. Anyway, made a mess of him. Hid in the rafters for about 3 hours.
That was national news, that, you know?
Yeah, it was all over the place. So I go to there anyway and come out, and they were on the roof, snipers. There was fucking coppers. It was like a football match. It was everywhere.
I worked there.
What they've done is they've got a place in Manchester and everything all over the place, because it was like, with being like a couple of thousand people in the club, you're not allowed to go in unless it's 400 or more. They're not allowed to arrest you because it could be a riot.
Yeah.
So they let me walk down, but they were all down the steps, about 20 steps one side, 20, and they're all stood. The cops knew it was me. I would stand at each soldiers, walking down, cocky as fuck. On a little, can't remember his name now. He had a little car, picked me up. He used to have a scrapyard lad. He picked me up. Little Tiggy, give me a lift, and we went in his car. And we blew off and got away. And then he would come and got me later on when I got done. Tommy Harrison's. That's what they were there for, because the boxer said, he was a big lad with a moustache. He'll beat me up about 20 odd stone.
Yeah.
So then they nicked me for it. He took me to court, so I got off with it. He never turned up in court. The end it was all through the carpet, but it was a fair fight.
But it was big news that the armed police and section, not only the
cop then was called. Remember the cop that was on there? What was he called? Keith Holloway.
Yeah, and I think Dave Earnshaw was in
that
charge.
was it. Sorry, Earnshaw, not Keith.
Yeah.
Earnshaw was him, because I was actually going to call the ecstasy tablets Earnshaw's.
Yeah, and you weren't flavour of the month then.
No, I was not flavour of the month. I was going to call them Earnshaw McGee's, and that was all then.
I mean, that was a big operation.
Well, I didn't give a fuck. I hated them. I just stared at them, and that was horrible.
And there was only one way into that nightclub each end of the street.
Right. But what happened is
Brunswick Street, because that was Bentley's, you know. Did you know that?
Yeah,
that was Bentley's, where I worked out.
Right.
Tito's before.
I went in, and we went in the back room and had a vest on, a pair of bottoms, and a pair of I used to wear army boots because John Black taught me that we went to door and the Africans wear army boots with rubber soles so you don't slide and you fight, no, especially on dance floors because the slide.
It was so important.
When you place when you were caught in, boom, the right hand and destroyed them. But I ended up being friends with them in the end. But we got nicked for that. That was another one where it was like ridiculous how many spots. Then got nicked another one with the one in the we talked about the other week where I went in speeding. We got I suppose the bullet going to some pulled the trigger and never went off, but the bullet come out and they found the bullet, but there was no DNA.
Yeah. But I think most of these people now.
Yeah.
Are all friends of yours, or there's no animosity?
No whatsoever. No, we've all shook hands.
It's good that, I mean, even another lot I was going to mention, because they were on the go in my time, and a lot of them are good friends of mine, and they seem to be a little bit anonymous, because there's people who would say, oh, they were part of these and a part of not.
Yeah.
Was the Wrecking Crew? I'd like to get one or two of them chatting.
A lot of them passed away now.
You know, yeah, and I'd like to say this as well.
Yeah.
One of them only last week passed away, Eddie Lads.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Who was, well, I'm not sure when he was Wrecking Crew, but Eddie Lads is a great lad in stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And another lad, Mala Wright, he was killed with this accident. The awesome jockey, and you know, it's horrible, you know, the deaths, because there's some really great people and stuff.
Yes.
It is everywhere.
Of course, yes.
You know, there's great people all over.
But when people ask us about the story, it's easy. Oh, I can't have done that. I can't have been hit with baseball bats and never got a broken bone. I'll go and see the doctors in the hospital. They haven't got a clue.
They haven't.
Well, they're living in these people.
I mean,
got a clue.
You might not see that type of thing again, or
I don't think ever it will.
Things like that come around once in a lifetime.
I don't think it'll come again, because the police have got that much power now with the cameras and the satellites and the bugs and the computers and everything you do. You get and watch and listen to.
Yeah.
And it was like you were in all the technology then.
Yeah.
Spygate and all that stuff we were into. But now it's just gone past with police. They just have to get a bit of. It's like an idiot now. We've had trouble with. They've got his phone now, where they've got in. They when you call them the forensic.
Yeah.
They're going to that. But you don't realise how clever they are with the phones.
And computers, you can wipe it off on the display.
That's what he said about what you wipe off your computer. Just to tell you guys, the police can put a special gadget on. It all comes back, everything. If you've got a phone 10-year-old, you delete it all off, and you take the chip out and you put this in, it still all comes back on the phone.
It's an outside expert they employ to come in to do that.
Like college freaky type.
And they might have your phone or computer, and you think nothing's happened.
Yeah.
And 6 months down the line, you charge with, I don't know how many, with child porn or whatever.
Well, if you've been on phones and they've got things like that on it, when you're threatening people on phones, you walk that off.
Oh, it's too late.
And that's how they're all getting caught. They're all getting caught left, right, and centre. All these big drug dealers are going up and down motorways. They've got this special thing where it bounces it. You phone Birmingham, you phone Manchester, you phone Doncaster, you phone it, and they're all linked them all together. And like, 300 years in jail. And it's the technology, it's the analysts, and it's not the police doing the job. Obviously, they just do arrests and gather evidence and give it to CPS. But
going back to
it's no good all that now.
And that as well, because you've got to tell these stories slowly, and there's much more to tell. Next week, I wouldn't mind telling one, or the week after, about what. And we won't go into detail because we'll surprise them. So I think what was probably the biggest operation Cleveland police have had in years was when, again, I got involved innocently because I know quite a lot about
the helicopter come.
Yeah, that operation was. I went innocently, didn't I? Because you know, my brother being
we're going to get next to you know. I was getting calm down, Kevin. I'm serious. Look at this helicopter. There were 20 police up there. We never nicked us, did that, right?
Was as I hadn't seen took over the pub. But if someone needed approaching to be politely, hey, by the way, you know, just drop the charge.
Kevin was the advocate.
They weren't scared of me. I was just Mr. Nice Guy, or trying to be.
Yeah.
But then one day I got a phone call. Hey, Kev, your brother's in the SS, and you know a lot about bugs. You've had a few listening devices now. I want you to check something out with me. Oh, not again, for fuck's sake. And then, anyway, the end story of it, I'll tell you, but it's a great story. I believe that operation was the last of the biggest operations to get you target number one.
Yeah.
And a lot of police finished their careers.
Yeah, they did. That
nosedived.
Thick thing he said was all them. But what happened is when the IRA disbanded with the firearms and that, the SES started going to different areas. The Morpeth is one where they're at, and they started in the paper. They said they're going to target big drug dealers, big gangsters. So instead of doing the job with them, so that's why we were getting targeted by them. And it wasn't every time. We're having arrested every month for them. And I remember one, he was looking through the car. I mean, kept looking at me through the sight. It was all fucking 3 inches away from me. What you fucking doing, you fucking dickhead? But I'm doing my job. I said, well, why do you keep looking through a fucking sight? I said, you shouldn't be in this job. You can't shoot me from 3 fucking inches away. I went, you fuck off. And he hit him with a shoulder. He slid right. It was in the snow. He slid across the road and hit the floor. And he looked like a fucking dickhead. And they're all going, we'll shoot you. I thought, well, fucking do it. And stop shouting, because my mum could shout a lot more. I'm police. I went, you don't have to shout. I'm not 20 miles away. I can hear you. I'm not fucking deaf. And they hated it because you know you're not spare frightened of them. They don't like it.
To be honest with you,
shaking.
On what you were saying there, I tend to agree with you on that, and I'll tell you a little bit why. My brother's excellent with firearms, not legally and all the rest. Fired everything, and I've fired a few weapons myself. Well, quite a lot myself legally, from pistols to the modern day stuff. And when you pointing an Ecklercock and you look to the side, pistols are used for things like that. And I think when they're in these airports, if they had to let loose for them, there's going to be a bit of crossfire, which innocent people could be hurt, you know. And yes, they're trained in firearms, but
different in the situation.
You've seen it, sometimes it cocks up and it doesn't go down really well, because the SAS, when people going about them, maybe they should train the police, but they're that busy. There's only 200 of them. And they are, no matter what people say about the SAS, there's only ever 200 in that regiment at one time, 4 squadrons. And they're
in serious trouble.
But they only are called to when there's a hostage situation, you know.
They were the other week.
They learned the lesson at the Iranian embassy salute, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But going back to that operation.
Something's out looking for me there. There's no hostages for me.
So when they didn't come to you, as I say, I've had people saying to me, just years ago, we're talking about 25 years ago, does Bry want any Semtex, whether they were bullshit or not, I don't know. Does he want any hand grenades? Fuck it, what do you think it is? You know, Commando. You know, one of the daftest things I heard, and it wasn't that long ago, actually, and I'm not into any crime, and out like that.
No. Neither am I, you know, by the way.
And it was off a lad who was a friend of mine, and he used to train at the gym, and I wouldn't say he's all there, and you'll know why by what I say here. He said to me, Kev, you know a little bit about the military, don't you? You've got quite a few people, you know, can you get me an hand grenade?
Yeah.
And I says, what do you want an hand grenade for? He said, how much would it be? I said, I don't know. I
there was a lot going wrong, wasn't it?
And I won't get you one.
I think we were off the army lads, weren't they?
Yeah, you were, yeah. And what do you want an hand grenade for? He said, will I be able to get one for £1,000? I said, not off me, you won't. I said, what do you want an hand grenade for? That's what he said. I want to put my girlfriend's windows through.
No, you know, I'd have sold it.
So why don't you fucking egg the window?
I'd have sold it for £1,000. It'd be a fucking plastic one out of boats.
You just sold them a few, wouldn't you?
I remember one we sold, me and Liam Henry.
By the way, you give us an idea there, Brian. If you're listening still, I'll sell you one.
Yeah, plastic one. I'd have fucking
sell you a plastic one.
We a lad called Liam Henry. We did a tax with the lad who was selling there. We never sold out of the life, fucking horrible stuff. And
I wonder how Liam's doing.
We're asking about you, Liam. Anyway, we've done the other thing to Liam allegedly. So we're in Colby Young, Hemlington, sorry. And this lad, he was from, what was it? Kazakhstan or something like that, you know, Afghanistan. He's one of them. And he said, he's been robbed. He said, could you get us a key of that stuff? And it was going for 22 grand. I said, well, I can get you there for 22. And he said, oh, well, that'd be great. So he said, but I've only got, I think it was 17 grand he had. So we've only got 17. So I said, what we're going to do? I said, I'll see what we're going to do. So I got a bit of diesel and I put it in black bag. Poured a bit of diesel in it, and I got loads of sellotape on it, loads of tape. Put it in a carry out. Anyway, I said, the lad, I said, thinks of it, it's just come over the diesel trucks from Afghanistan, all that shit, whatever it was called, this stuff, China White or some fucking thing. So anyway, the taxi driver was going, oh, yeah, for it then. He shit himself, the taxi driver. It was a bag of sugar, a £2 bag of sugar. And I looked, because the kilos are that, so I've got to put it up, so perfect. He went, give me the thing, give me the money, £17,000 I got off him. And then the lad phoned up, said, Brian, this is fucking silver spoon. No, he said, this is sugar. I said, no, but it's silver spoon. I've told lumps on me. Ask Liam if you ever seen me, I'll tell you the story. Liam was the lad in the documentary with the McIntyre where he brought the lads, was supposed to beat up for pinching the car. That was all fake. That was just
because Liam, obviously the family from Ireland, and but he had a few good connections.
Yeah, really big connections,
because he was in Mac for quite a while as well.
Yeah, he was, I've made him done quite a few nice little taxes.
Yeah, he was in Mac for a while. I didn't know the ins and outs because at that time I
tell you, what that was sitting in mind. Another Taxman, Flea, good lad, Flea. Yeah. So this bodybuilder, massive bodybuilder, wanted me to get him 2008. There's no problem. So I went out, aspirins. So I got these aspirins, right? Trying to get them. But you're only allowed to buy a couple of packets.
Yeah.
In case you kill yourself. We were fucking out all day, all over Teesside, trying to get 2,000 aspirins. I think I got about 1,500. Put them in this bag. I've done the same thing. I've got this plastic bag you could see through. I've got loads of tape on it. I do the same thing with a bit of diesel. I said, to come over the diesel trucks. I said, from Holland and all that shit. And I met him at the gym. And it was called Mosaic, that gym, guys, in Middle
Mosaic, yeah.
So I'm outside there, and they were well, so he's going like that. I said, I think it was 9 grand. I gave him some ridiculous 4.5 grand, 4.5 grand for 1,000. I got to give him 9 grand. And then I was on the plane an hour later, going to out the area, Greece.
Yeah.
They went, and there were aspirins, and he went, fucking chuck through with them, Brian, and nothing's happened. I said, I bet you haven't got a fucking headache, grab you. It's fucking funny. The things they've done, though, it's crazy. So they're all show stories. The people who have taxed, I tell you, I've done it.
But the people you taxed, what you taxed for money or for drugs,
they were all
for whatever.
Never any innocent people.
You'd not tax people who were. No. In fact, you'd go.
What it was, tell you the truth, Kevin.
People, wouldn't you?
Tell you what the truth was, Kevin. A lot of people used to go, coming on my house, I'll shoot them. They used to annoy me. I think cheeky little fucking cunt, give me stuff. And I used to take the gear off them. And
just going back onto the subject, because there's loads to talk about, lots.
Yeah.
There's just not enough. I was in. We'd have to.
We'll do it next time. Yeah.
There was something that I was going to ask you. A couple of things. You've taxed people before you were with Lee Duffy. And you've taxed people after you with Lee Duffy.
Yeah, when I was with Lee, we were only taxing minuscule bits then.
Was it a lot or not? Or?
No, not with Lee.
We
got a grand off a lad, or you knew, didn't you?
Yeah.
And we took him down again. We'll show you that.
Because you made a lot of money.
With me, Lee was only getting like bits off in pubs and clubs.
Yeah.
We went when I took it to the next level when I was getting.
So were you having a good time with the drugs with them?
Yeah, I never took a drug out.
You never had
26 and a half.
Yeah.
26 and a half. I just did a drug, but I got it back off them. And I just went fullish taxing, doing doors and stuff. And we got into taking the drugs off people, but we never beat people up, broke legs and all that shit, and we're not scared, just give us a gear. It didn't happen to intimidation because I was that big and I was strong, and my reputation of the name, and they couldn't get anyone else. They could only get the police. If you had got the police on me.
And when you say you and Lee, you'd never seen him, only people once when you were taxing.
100%.
When you sell them, which probably, am I right? The reason for that would have been you wouldn't have had to because you were that much of a fearsome force, you know.
No, people were scared like Dad said. Together, you used to run the whole England, that type of thing. Something with that much power. Yeah. And in them days, we had it all boxed off. My old friends up the road in Newcastle and people in Sunderland. We had everything. I boxed everything right across from probably Whitby right up to Newcastle.
Did all the 6 I lost touch with you a little bit at the time, and did the Newcastle lads, Sunderland lads, and yourselves, did you tend to form a bit of a group where you were all okay with each other? Or
any was never into drugs and off like that. But I used to do my bits and bobs, you know what I mean? But that was he was just a straight guy, brilliant fighter, lovely man, loved him a bit. Always have done, always will. But he wasn't in anything. I got him on a few drinks a few times. Got him a few drinks and that. Didn't drink out, so he chilled out with me. But I loved Ernie. He's a brilliant person. But the Newcastle lads they were friends of mine as well, still friends of mine.
There's some good lads at Newcastle, and there's some good lads everywhere, you know.
Well, what it is all the good lads stick together usually.
Yeah.
And then you see all the little grassy ones together, all the sling ones and all this one. And I've always been friends with people until they do something bad to me. And once they do something bad, I won't speak to them again. There's another one just recently done something bad to me and he's finished.
Yeah. Car-wise, going back to a few little things about cars, what was the favourite car you had for free?
The Sierra Cosworth 4x4.
Yeah.
I was the first person in this area to get one. They all had the two-wheeler ones. I got the 4x4. Phenomenal cars. They're souped up. 300 and something, 333, I think is brake horse, the most you can get. Phenomenal. The Yokohama tyres, they were £75. This was like €30 each. We had carbon pads, they were 300 quid, because you can't have just a normal pad, because the set of light, when you're going that fast, when you're doing like 170, I mean, I used to do all the off-road riders, you know, and never cops got anywhere near me. We used to go up there, Rex, going off the road. I never said I was a rally driver. I was going to be a rally. I used to rally drive as a hobby. Yeah. And mainly, the cops used to say, why don't you ever fucking stop with me, Jason? I said, so if you got some cunt in the boot or loads of gear, I'm not going to fucking stop. And it was a bit of a joke, but probably so as well.
Because yourself, you've had a few great cars, and going back to
right, 7 Cosworths, I taxed 3 of them. Start the Terry Pearson, you bet every car you can think of. Porsche 911s, 928s, Range Rovers.
I can remember at the time when we went to Bradford, and I think
it was a South convertible that.
So, this is another time. We went a few times, didn't we? We went to see Sweb off Manham Lane and that.
Yeah.
And Bam Bam ended up coming along. And I was in the car with it, but I ended up going up in one car and coming back in another. And there was Bam Bam and this other lad who Sweb knew and Adish knew from Bradford, who also had a Cosworth, who was allegedly a world-class driver. And him and Bam Bam and you and me were driving through the streets of Bradford. And I would never want to get in a car with Bam Bam ever again. Yeah. In fact, I begged to let me out. Please let me out. Yeah. I don't want that. No chance. It might sound funny. That's fucking dangerous what he was doing. Craig Howard,
me and Bam Bam,
drivers
in the area.
But you're right. Yeah, but
I got offered money to go to London to drive. I said, no, I'm not going down there. When I was down there to drive, because when they were up here, the London lads, I used to work with them. We got a chase and left the cops. I had about 16 cars after me, but they only had 3-litre Senators. They only could do 130 miles. This could do like 170. It was chipped. It was actuator on it, boost gauge. It had everything. Yokohama tyres. It had even the strut inside across it. I had everything changed. The gearbox was changed because the normal one was spare out. It was just phenomenal.
But actually, I'll be honest with you, it scared me because you're scared when you aren't in control. I went on the steering wheel and Bam Bam and you skidding around roundabouts in fucking Bradford where you didn't know the roads 90 miles an hour.
Well, that's like what you call that is left foot braking. Oh, well. So you've got a left foot brake and you're sign, you oversteer, you understeer. Because it takes a lot of skill to do it, because you've got to do a lot of stuff.
I'm not sure whether you or Bam Bam remember, but I said, please stop the car, let me out, I'll fucking walk on. Yeah. Let me out. And Bam Bam, obviously, I just want to quickly mention his relative Leslie Brown. I'll give you a ring later, Leslie. She's a really good lass. And Bam Bam's put the shits up there a few arms driving. And just don't go in the car with him. Do not go in the car. You can't risk it. No. And you and him used to find it quite fucking funny.
We used to race, all me.
Quite funny. You used to be in the race. He was
a good driver. Great driver. Paddy, we all had the Cosworths, but I just say no people.
I remember being a Cosworth with you.
Oh yeah. With no lights on. What I used to do was I used to have the back lights where I could turn them off.
So the
cops would say chase this.
Yeah, Apple Orchard, the bank nodding at
130 miles an hour doing Apple Orchard. She was like white as a sheet. Good crash. I went, calm down, all right.
Yeah, it's something I didn't like. That you know, these mad mouse driving. You know,
white thingy knuckle rides.
I don't like it. But you even had the motorbikes as well, didn't you?
Oh yeah, Harley Davidson side, the ninjas, the ninja bikes.
And you got all that for now, didn't you?
Yeah, I took them off people. I actually took one off a lad from Redcar, and I was riding along the road on the bike, and this fucking car was going beep. We went, that's my fucking bike. And he nearly hit me, and I fucking nearly crashed the bike. I was a bus, so I jumped out. What do you want? You come on, I went, fuck down the car, and the thing he went on the radio, the place, and then I was off, gone, put the stopped and got rid of it, never had it again. But yeah, another kid got the blame for it. They wear the helmet, they couldn't prove it was me.
Yeah, emotionally, because there's loads of things to ask you by, and you can't pack them into one show. You just can't. And some of them are a lot more interesting than tonight. One thing I'd like to touch on is emotionally wise, what things have touched you where you've hurt you? You know,
well, my brother committing suicide was the worst thing. Things like that, people have died within the 90s and stuff like that. Just not so bad, but when your brother does that, things like that. And seeing, I don't watch the news because I don't like watching news.
I don't like
being taken away and murdered, and
like
somebody's in roads west and things like that, and all these type of people are just vile people, demonic people they are. But I just like to help people, mate, and just be nice to people. All these people talking about you guys, I've tried to fight for me, and I've destroyed them in the fight. As simple as that. I'm not being disrespectful or big-headed or anything. I'm just telling you the facts, and what I'm telling you now is true. And I beat these people. No one come close to beat me in a fight or all this crap, and this happened down here and this happened there, and he's done this and he's done that. No.
I wonder how they can tell the story when some of these people were saying it were 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds.
Yeah, it's pathetic. It's like me trying to go back to like the First World War. Oh yes, we were in the trenches. I went, hey,
you must be psychic. I thought you've got one on a called Adolf Hitler.
Oh.
They just said that.
Yeah, Adolf Hitler.
And obviously, them days are not going to come back, and lots of them hard men aren't going to come back. And not that I love people, whether they're hard or not. Yeah. Some of the softest people in the world I love, and I would like to protect. I mean, and you've got people who, two people. You've got tough lads now who were nice lads, Carl Valdi, Simon, Liam Martin, people like that. You know, you don't have to be nasty.
Frederick Casey, Brian, was that a cousin? Had a yellow Cosworth Q-Reg. I had a white Cosworth that took off Craig Allen. Remember that white one took off him?
I can't remember that one. I can remember he had like a silvery blue one. And
I had a graphite grey one.
Well, I can remember actually. I think he had every colour.
I had a red one. It was a magenta red. I think there was 6 or 7 there. I took 3 off people. Then I bought the others. The first one with me, Bob went to Oxford to buy it. I went to Oxford. Yeah. And he spun the coin. It was head to tails, and he also had to pay fucking £200. No, that was like, say, what it's 6,500. He said, well, spin the coin for 6,300. A few when you get 6,500, and you go to the local one. Yeah.
The first person I ever knew had a Cosworth, and them days they were very hard to come by when the very first came out. Very first. Yeah. Was John McPartland, my brother-in-law. Yeah. Maureen's husband, and he bought it at the sales at me up Yarm, and he paid then, it was a black one, 22 grand. Yeah. You know, and by the way, he wasn't into drugs then either.
Yeah, allegedly.
I'll tell you a little bit of a story about that later on. And he wasn't actually on this.
No, I know
it was, you know what the scars, you know what I mean?
He used to get his post office money off every bank with his bank card. Right, we're going to leave it there. We've talked your heads off. It's after 2 hours we've done.
Yeah, and I hope you listen next week because there's a lot to talk
everyone
about.
In there, you know. All the kids out there, don't try and emulate what we did because that was wrong. We shouldn't have done it. But we're just telling you the story of what really happened here in this area. Everyone's got someone in their ears like me and Kevin. So we just want to say thanks to everyone. Stay safe, Kevin, innit?
Yeah. And another good thing, what I'd like to do with quite a lot of people, as many as we can, what would be good after this lockdown is over with. Yeah. We all see each other on screen. Maybe we could all get together somewhere and have a drink or a coffee.
That'd be brilliant.
You know, a night out where we just chat and it'd be really good.
The the bosses put their hand up.
Right, can I just ask you all, underneath this video, there's going to be a link for Fight 100. Fight 100 is a really exciting new YouTube channel. I'll just give you the quick rundown on it. It's 5 times 100 second rounds, last man standing knockout competition. It's a fight in the Pentagon. 4 6-ounce Fight 100 special gloves. No referee regulator. 5 weight classes. Anything above the waist goes. No clinching, holding or kicks. New point system and no draw decisions. It's like a fight off at the end. So if you can just all subscribe to that, it's going to be a brand new channel, new fighting system, and it's going to be marvellous.
Can I just, before we knock off, give it a quick mention to a young lady who's, I'm not into politics at all, to be honest with you, but a young lady who's putting everything in her life towards helping the community, to represent the people. And shortly, she's been doing it for a lot of years, helping the homeless people, drug addicts, all sorts. A really good girl. And she's shortly putting in to be mayor. It's Jessie Jo Jacobs. And if anyone's not decided who to vote for, she'd be very, very good for the area, for everyone. If you can just look her up.
And for, and for all those people out there who've been asking about the books, there's the Taxman. What was 2005. You can buy that off us, signed copies, whatever you want putting on it. That's the best book I did. This was another one off Charlie Bronson called Solitary Fitness, which I do with Charlie.
I've not read that, Brad.
Yeah, well, I'll get you one of them. And then there's this one, which me and my wife did, the Brian Cockrell and Emma Cockrell. Brian Cockrell and Lee Duffy. It's all about what me and Lee did. We were talking to you about in 1991. The picture's been split between me and him, so I wouldn't let him come to me door. But you can get that off us as well.
It's a great photo, that, you know.
I get that off us as well. As, my wife and I just have to let us know. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Get people to subscribe. We've had a great night tonight, and I'd just like to thank you all and wish you all a lovely weekend. Thank you very much.
Take care, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Bye now.
Have we been on there 2 hours?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
2 hours.